Welcome aboard, everybody! Welcome aboard for Chapter 6 of By Leaps and Bounties, presented by Rook and Rasp. We are using the 7th Sea 2nd edition by Chaosium. We are not associated with Chaosium, we just really love the game. This is Chapter 6, called Chasing Destiny. So, let's go ahead and get started. Introduce everybody, do a quick little sum up, and then we will get right into it. I am Danny, and I am running the game, but I do not control it, so don't blame me.
I'm Gianni.
For anything that happens. Let's go ahead, and speaking of Gianni, John, go ahead and introduce yourself and your character.
Well, good evening, everyone. My name is John, and I will be playing the character of Gianni tonight. And he is a lovable rogue to some. A few. Mostly.
Right. Rue, how about you?
Hi, my name is Rue Thompson, and I am playing Sailor Amelia McJohnson. And she's found herself in some trouble and very wounded, and we'll see if she gets better tonight.
With a magical bracer.
I did. I put on a magical bracer 2 episodes ago to get it to stop doing what it was doing, and now I can't get it off. So
yeah, we're dealing with that. It's a thing that needs to be dealt with. Michael, go ahead, introduce yourself. And
Michael and I will be playing the role of Andreas. He is a sorcerer and duelist from the Summation Commonwealth who has a friend, as always.
All right, and Alla, introduce yourself and your character.
Hi, I'm Alla, and today I will be playing Ninette Prévert, who is a noble from Montaigne, who is in way over her head, but it might be time to shank someone.
Indeed. So, last time, to quickly sum up, our heroes were at the Blue Pearl. They had gotten a room and all of that, and they decided they were going to relax a little bit, try to figure out what they were going to do. They had some charcuterie, they had a bath, they had drinks, and Gianni and Andreas went to get some money to help them out because they were trying to figure out where they were going to go. They knew that the Invisible College was offering to meet up with them and help them get out of the city at midnight. So while they were kind of waiting for that, trying to figure out their plan of attack, I guess. However, the Policia showed up, and they had to make a quick escape out the window. And oh yeah. So the first thing that happened was Amelia had put on the bracer and had a vision and had to clash wills with Silent Death, who has the other bracer. And she was unsuccessful, so now he kind of knows where she is. So, that's
it is what it is.
Yeah. And so then when the Policia showed up, they had to go out the window while Ace stood and tried to, play innocent. And it was just a bunch of a chaos of Charles falling on Gianni, and then Ninette falling on them, and Andreas trying to hijack a carriage, and Gianni portraying him and Charles as lovers to get out of there, and trying to portray to the carriage driver's heart, and it was a whole thing, and at the end, Ace decided she was going to use the bracer, lightening a bunch of guards, and they took off and ended up meeting up with their contacts with the Invisible College, who took them to a kind of a dock where kind of where they had been before, but ship was all set up, and it was the Pot of Gold, which they had just learned that someone from the Pot of Gold had given them up, which is why the Policia were there in the first place, because they had, of course, there were posters talking about Ninette all over the city. So when they got there, the Captain O'Connell was there, and we will get into that after we kind of set the scene. We, of course, have our book with the beveled and hand-tooled edges with the sorte deck and the sword and the blunderbuss and the veil. It says by Leaps and Bounties, just beautiful hand-tooled leather. And it opens, and we see a black and white picture, and it's kind of over the shoulders of our heroes. So we're kind of looking over Ace and Gianni and Andreas's and Nanette's shoulder at Captain O'Connell standing in front of the gangplank to her ship. So she is standing there, and below and is the black and white picture, and the picture is obviously done in a lot of more dark because it is at night. And below the picture, well, above it, of course, it says Chapter 6, Chasing Destiny. And below it says, it is not in the stars to hold our destiny, but in ourselves. Shakespeare. So we zoom in on the picture, and it sort of starts to come to life. We're hearing night sounds and the water lapping, and we see light, torchlight and, lamplight and all that sort of stuff that comes up with the nighttime. And we start to see, clothes start to billow, and we start to hear the sound, and Captain O'Connell is looking at the four of our heroes. Charles is there as well, as long as the older gentleman who has brought them here in the first place. She is ostensibly by herself, but she looks at the four of you and she says, "We need to talk."
Andreas pulls his blade and goes, "Speak quickly."
She says, "Look, when we got off the dock, we saw the posters, and we tried to spread word among our crew to not say anything. We're pretty convinced of that this is some sort of, due to your involvement with the Utrecht and other things, we were pretty sure you hadn't done anything, Miss Prever."
That is what I was trying to say, but nobody believed me. But still, someone from your crew betrayed us.
Yeah, unfortunately, we didn't get to everybody in time, or they decided that the money was too much.
If they wanted 50,000 that badly, they could have just said so.
Yes, well, I'm sure it might have been either too tempting or they didn't get the message. Either way, they're no longer on the crew. After I guess they received their reward, they took off.
Do you know who did it then?
His name is Remus. He was one of our riggers.
I mentally file that name away.
However, we knew that this would cause a lot of trouble, and I did feel responsible for it in some way.
You should have, yeah.
So, we all have been aware of the Invisible College moving some of these artifacts, and so we sent word and said that we were willing to help, and here we are. I will say, as the storyteller, now this may seem like this is where I'm pushing you to go, but if you just shoot her and say F it and go off, that is totally up to y'all. I do not railroad, so I'm offering you this opportunity. It is up to you if you decide to take it or not. I mean, you could just take off if you wanted to, but that will be up to y'all to decide.
You have to understand, Captain, that I've only dealt with you a little bit, and these lot have never dealt with you. And when we were told that we were sold out by one of your crew, I understand that you say that that person is gone. But trust is earned. It's not the way that it's not what I'm going on at this moment. So if we get on your boat, I have to be completely honest that we will do whatever we think we need to do to protect ourselves should any other of your crew members, or you yourself, ma'am, decide that you think that we're worth something more than the labor we can offer.
Well, what I can tell you is I am definitely not interested in helping the church at all. And I understand that's at least partially who's after you. And I have no for pirates either.
Well, based on my actions in town at this moment, we may be pirates. And if you take us, you might be a pirate too.
And
Like-
made an enemy of the church.
By the letter of the law, we are not pirates. We have not committed an act of piracy. We might be wanted by the Castilian government and the church, but we're not pirates.
We may not have committed an act of piracy, but we also did not. Nanette did not commit theft, and it doesn't seem to really matter. I don't know if you noticed, but a lot of guys went down no more than 20 minutes ago. They'll say whatever they want.
Speaking of that, you are still bleeding all over everything. Maybe we should get
Could
out
I
of
have a seat?
the
That would be
eyes.
great.
maybe somewhere a little bit more private. We could bandage, what's left.
I think I'm bleeding internally. I don't know if you can bandage it, but
Oh, it's coming out of your ears too. It's really just it's kind of a hot mess.
hot, right? Right? That's good.
I mean,
I think you're running a fever too. So
the kind of veining lines that appeared on your skin coming up from the gauntlet do kind of look good.
look, we shouldn't be having this conversation out here. We should probably. And Captain, when are you planning to set sail?
Well, we offered to take you where you need to go. I understand from the Invisible College you were heading to Labuka.
Well, yes, but also when. I suspect there will be people on that there fairly soon.
Yes, we're planning to head right now. As compensation, also the Invisible College is planning to compensate us for taking on Captain Wheel's mission.
Yeah. All right. Wherever, if you can just find me a place, a hammock, something, a pallet of blankets, something.
I think we can ask for a private room this time around.
Okay.
O'Connell gestures to the gangplank to the ship.
I sheath my sword.
You're lucky I'm on. At first when you said that, I was like, what? She tells me to walk the plank.
The gangplank.
Yeah, to get on it.
Get
I'm
on
not
the
on the
ship.
ship yet.
And get right the heck off.
Yeah.
You went too far asking for a private room. So she's like, Davy Jones' locker.
Look, Mademoiselle Ace needs somewhere to rest and recover, and the rest of
Do
us
you have
just
a
need some
doctor on
rest.
this ship?
We do have someone who is trained in medical. I don't know if he's a doctor, but he does a pretty good job.
That's better than where I'm at, so send him over when he's ready.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so you all get on the ship.
Yes.
Might as well.
All right.
It's not like they can
Charles.
turn us in again.
Yeah. Charles has been talking to the older man who has, who brought you here. So after that, it's kind of low conversation. And then he follows you onto the ship, clutching his book. There's one book that he has that's kind of singed now, but
Yeah, I did my best.
So once you get on the ship, Douglas Cameron greets you, and he looks at Ace and he says, "Well, I didn't think to be seeing you so soon."
I feel bad enough. I don't need to look at you too, Douglas. I pushed past him.
My mug can't be that ugly, can it?
I always preferred your sister.
Well, she always did get the good looks in the family. I get the brains, though.
Oh, don't make me laugh. Don't make me laugh.
Let's get you somewhere safe, Mademoiselle Ace.
So come along then, and he will show anybody who wishes to follow to some quarters, and there are a couple rooms that can be used. It's not a passenger ship; it's a merchant ship, but there are some. Sometimes people like to ride with their cargo, ride with their merchandise and stuff like that. So he can show Ace and Nanette to one room, and then Gianni and Andreas can have another. If anybody doesn't follow Douglas, you will need to let me know.
Andreas is actually going to stay on the deck
Okay.
with his new bag of purchased supplies and other sundries.
Sweet. That got tossed out the window, checking on it to make sure nothing broke.
That's part of it, yeah.
Excellent. Okay. All right. So, Gianni, once you I assume you're following, let's start with Gianni. I assume you're going to the room that Douglas shows you?
Yeah. He's a little bit overwhelmed at this point after everything. So I think he's probably lost in his thoughts still right this moment. But yeah, he just follows and probably shuffles the deck for a while, staring at the ceiling.
Okay. In the room, or
Yeah,
like on the deck?
In the room.
Okay. Charles is with you. Because it's not a huge. Well, let's see. We put under. Yeah. Charles is with you in the room. Since you two were kind of there, he'll put you two in the same room together. So Charles is sitting on the bed and he's kind of clutching his book, and he's kind of like looking around and watching you pace.
I'm just flipping through my deck and looking at cards at random ever so often.
Okay. Nanette and Ace, you were shown to a room. It has two little, cots in it. As does the room that Gianni and Charles are in. Just little cots, nothing fancy. Two cots, like a little side table with a couple drawers. A basin with water. That's about it.
What? Let's get you settled and fully rested, and
Sounds good.
yeah, you can have my pillow, and Nanette just frets.
Okay.
I've never read about anything like this in the medical textbooks I have read. I don't really know what I can do to help. Maybe I can, find some tonic water or
I
some
think
pain
I'm gonna-
relievers.
Pain relievers would be great. I'm hoping when the surgeon gets here, maybe he can figure something out. Or whatever he is, a man trained in medical. I don't
I mean,
know what else to call him.
do they just know real medicine, or did they just chop off arms and legs and replace them with wood or hooks?
I mean, we had a pretty good guy on the Utrecht, but I don't even know if he made it out, come to think of it. We called him Old Bonesaw, but he never actually used one.
Yeah, I mean, you don't actually know what happened to everybody in the Utrecht once they got off the pot of gold, so you
It's kind of weird. It's kind
involved
of
in
weird.
other stuff.
Ace has a moment where she's like, how did I so quickly just like abandon my crew in favor of this motley crew that showed up on my boat?
Yeah. Well, I mean, to be fair, once you got off the ship, you saw the wanted poster of the person you were standing right next to. So
That's true.
I mean, it was kind of one of those, oh crap, we got to do something about that now, and things just kind of snowballed from there. So,
Sure.
to be fair, Douglas actually says, well, he's field medicine. He was in several battles back in the homeland, so he's learned quite a bit on the field of battle. But I'll send Angus over as soon as I find him.
Angus. Nice. All right. I feel like I'm back at home. All these what do they call that area, the Isles?
Highland Marshes.
Well, yeah, I know that, but Innismore, Avalon, aren't they all called something? Some kind of Isles. I don't remember.
Yeah.
I say the right thing or not the thing if it's not a thing in game.
Well, most of us on this ship are from there, either Innismore or the Marshes.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, there's there's the vest in there, the bosun.
I like him, Olaf. He
Olaf.
seemed like a good guy. Unless he ratted us out, and then he's not a good guy anymore. And I'll have to kill him. So make sure it wasn't him, eh?
I will, but we're pretty sure we know who it was. As I said,
Remus.
us have no love for the church or pirates.
The
Sure.
Glamour Isles, by the way.
That's the one. I was gonna call them the Glittery Isles, but yeah, the Glittering Isles, but yeah.
I got
Glamour.
Yeah.
I knew it was there somewhere.
Well, I'll leave you to it. I'll go find Angus for you.
Yeah, please do. Yep. Painkillers, something. Thanks.
I'll let him know. Should I send a bottle of something down?
I don't know if that's a good idea right now. You may need your wits about you
You're
in
still
case.
kind of, hungover from the drinking you were doing.
I will say. Well, remember, I rolled to be completely okay.
Oh, that's right.
And
You're
I
the sober.
succeeded.
You're
Yeah,
the
I'm
sober
completely-
one. You're the
I
sober
am
one.
immediately sobered up. I am going to say, no, this ship is primarily Inish, and I don't care for their whiskey. They carry Irish whiskey, I prefer. Or Inish whiskey, I prefer. Highland whiskey.
Ah, that's what the captain does love her whiskey. And he will depart.
And I just kind of like try to get the dried blood off of my earlobes and lay there and hate myself for a minute. Hate my life.
Why don't you rest? I will clean up any extra blood on you. Just look, you helped
Okay.
us get away, so it's the least we can do.
I appreciate that. I should have just went out the window. Thought I could do something, but this is why I've never been the captain. Only the eyes.
Well, your bravery is appreciated nonetheless, but maybe less brave next time. Maybe less lightning too. That was a little bit terrifying.
I didn't know it was gonna do that. I mean, I knew it was gonna do something. I didn't think it was gonna be that, or that magnitude, I suppose.
Hopefully, Silent Death does not try to use his bracer again.
Well, seeing how hard it hit me, I understand he's probably got some practice on it, but I don't think he'll be able to use it for I don't think he'll be able to use it too soon.
Yeah, you're pretty certain that, you can only do that every once in a while. It's not
I mean,
like...
He hit me hard
Really?
enough
Okay.
the first time that the amount of energy he had to expend had to have been bad.
Right, but we're still not sure what all he can do, so better to keep your wits about you and try to
and
get better
we'll
as
see if we
fast
can't
as you
find
can.
a way to and we'll see if we can't find a way to get this off before the Invisible College, if we can, but I don't see it happening. But yes, I'll rest. I'll let everyone, Yes, I'll sleep. I'll sleep. I'll take it upon myself to sleep. I just put my hat over my eyes and I don't sleep. I'm in a lot of pain. Sleep is a little difficult.
You can close your eyes, Ponder your life choices.
I'm Paul Rubin at the end of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Oh.
Okay, Nanette, well, Ace is gonna do that. Are you gonna do anything particular or just wait?
Probably just nurse and watch over Ace just to make sure nothing happens.
Perfect. All right. We'll go to Andreas, who is kind of pacing the deck, as far as I'm aware.
Andreas is kind of set up. He basically doesn't want to. He want to make sure that the vote does actually get underway, and like they're not. This isn't just a setup to keep them there on an isolated area to do that. And in the meantime, he kind of rummages through the stuff he's got, and he pulls out a little kit. Like dips some of the rainwater into a small jug and like starts trimming and preparing his hair because it's been a long time. Like they shaved this up, but he's just like actually like shaving the sides of his head while he keeps watch and like actually doing some personal grooming.
Okay. So You're there. As soon as Douglas brought the others, Charles and the other three, down below to their rooms, Captain O'Connell starts giving orders, and sails are being unfurled, and the anchor is being pulled up. So they seem to be getting ready to get underway.
Yeah.
You also would see the older man who showed you all the way to the docks take the horses and go off
Mhm.
from the shore on the shore. So you see that, and you start your personal grooming routine.
Yeah, he's also kind of trying to keep an eye on like, does he hear guards starting to come like just in case.
You don't seem to from where you are. I mean, you hear city noises, but you don't hear anything that specifically gets your attention.
Huh.
That would be like guards coming or anything like that.
We didn't take them all out, correct?
Correct.
No, and
And
as
they
far as I
didn't raise an
know,
alarm.
There were like 6 left.
That's
10 of them
still
got
enough to
taken
raise
out,
an
less the
alarm.
kid.
That's huh. While he's kind of sitting there, Andreas is gonna think back to their. Andreas is gonna do something dumb.
Oh boy!
join the club, friend.
Andreas is going to look over at his Davis and go, "You remember that scene perfectly, don't you?"
Of course.
Did they have church markings on them? The guards? Because things aren't adding up right now. 6 guards should have been easily enough to start raising an alarm, and we'd been traveling around quietly for some time, and the city wasn't going insane as they tried to hunt down criminals. They wanted to keep this quiet, and we know the church was one of the people backing this. So were those Inquisition?
Davis looks to be considering with a little smile on his face.
Oh, I know.
For this information,
Mm-hmm.
let me see. I've never been to Labuka. So when you get there,
Mm-hmm.
I would like you to simply drop some blood on the ground. It'll help me gather information on such a place.
Simple enough.
It's a simple request you're making.
So,
However, if you need advice on all of this, he gestures at you. He's like, that would be a major favor.
no, we're not going there. As he like has a mirror set up, like a little mirror that he's like. So, yes, I will drop some blood on the shores of Labuka for this information.
Well, the captain was certainly interesting and very interested in what you were carrying.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know as if the guards exactly knew what they were getting into. But I think the captain was certainly more aware than he let on.
Of course he is. Well then. No,
I mean, go ahead.
no, go ahead, please.
So, why are we here? Why are we going here? I mean, I'm always fascinated when you get in trouble, but these people, you won't even introduce me to them. I mean, what's so fascinating about these people?
I mean, right now it's a little bit of a convenience thing. We're all trying to get to Labuka, but at the same time,
Well,
well,
I mean,
now I say now I feel like I might be able to give Ace some advice about dealing with things that have high costs.
all the good things do.
Yes, yes, they do.
But
But
it's just so, I mean, it's unnecessary. You have
but
me. You don't need them.
maybe it's not about me needing them as much as it's about me thinking that I can help them out.
Oh, compassion. I see.
Yeah.
Disgusting.
Hey, you're the one who made to deal with the heroic type.
Yes, well, if I had known. I'm not infallible. All powerful, yes, but sadly not infallible.
But I think I don't want to let you go. By that I mean free.
Hmm.
After all, I mean, I've seen what your kind can do when they are set free or unleashed.
Well, as I said, I mean, that wouldn't have to be your concern. You
Yeah.
haven't been that bad of someone to make a deal with, despite your empathy.
Yeah. Time. As Andreas basically finishes up cleaning up his hair and sides of his head, he wipes everything down, puts it up. I have something to give somebody. Now that we've seemed to have gotten underway for the most part, and he pulls a looks like a leather bound plain book, uh, and grabs the rest of his bag and out of his bag and grabs the rest and goes down to the uh, goes down to where his room would be.
Okay. All right,
Uh,
cool.
when he gets there, he hands the book to Charles.
Excellent. We
The
will.
pages are blank.
Ah, excellent. We'll come back to that. We'll come back to that because we were going to go to Gianni and Charles in their room, continuing kind of to look at cards.
Yeah. Uh, been flipping through it myself a little bit.
Hmm.
Interesting. You are not the kind of man to give in to fate, are you?
I've, I've, I've heard of sorte cards. I'd actually never seen them until now.
I'll actually pull out one of my spare decks, one of my side ones, and just pass it across to him. Take a look through it. If you see one
Oh,
that speaks to you, let me know.
oh, okay. He starts looking. He says, "Fascinating. Are these hand painted?"
Always. I do have one set. I think it's from Florentine, and it is a wood block set. I collect these decks myself.
Oh, interesting. And he's kind of flipping through the cards, looking very interested. And he says, "So how? I mean, if you don't mind me asking, how exactly do they work?"
What do you mean?
Well, I mean, how do you use them? I mean, do you just?
Uh, the idea is that there is something beyond us. That there is a thread, a possibility endless possibilities connecting each and every one of us in this world. None of us can understand it. None of us. We can try to understand and pretend that we can see it all and gain some kind of glimpse into it. A person who believes in sorte, a person who believes in fate, we believe that these decks actually allow us to interpret it a little bit more, with a little bit more finite idea. So, to understand them, the simplest way to understand is that there is four suits, various cards, starting from 1 to 10. This is the deck you're looking through there. Also continues them into the royal cards for each suit. You will find that there is a queen and a king for every suit in that deck. Likewise, you will also see there are major, what are called major arcana, and each one of those also holds more of a special meaning. So you are dealing with the idea of those things which pull upon us in different ways, from what we think to what we feel to what we carry with us, and then that which was supernatural and already written for us. That is essentially what Sorte is.
So he's looking through the deck, and two cards fall out,
I
and he
snatch him
shows
up.
them, and he shows them to you. This is the first,
Very good. Yes.
and this is the second.
Interesting.
The Fool cards for anybody who can't read it.
The Fool is not. Other things you must always understand. Do not always take things at face values with these cards. The Fool does not necessarily mean that anyone is a fool. That anyone is. How do you even understand it? There's more depth to every card than you could understand. You look at the deck. You look at the card. Look at the Fool, and you will see. Image of a man about to go off a cliff, more than likely. Almost every deck has it something similar. And you would think, oh, he's an idiot. He's about to walk off. But there is the understanding that is greater than that. And that is that this is a man about to begin a journey. Yes, he is about to fall pretty far, but he is beginning a journey altogether. Same thing. There is a spontaneity. Look at how happy he is. Look at the freedom that he expresses. There is faith, the sun peeking through the clouds. There is a chance of folly, yes. But nobody can see what is on the below him, that cliff. Perhaps he is about to fall into some lady's bedchambers. You never know.
Charles kind of gets a little red. And what about the dog?
Like I said, there is a lot of depth to that. Somebody is chasing someone. Somebody cares for someone. There is the obvious, and then there's the unobvious. And you also see the eyes.
Oh.
Sometimes there are eyes hidden in the clouds, also watching from a distance. In a fool's card. That there is perhaps something even greater behind your actions.
So while you're doing this, do you do anything particular with your sorte, or are you just reading?
No, I'm just literally talking out loud at this point.
Okay.
I've pretty much pulled everybody else. Actually, I'll take that back. I will look for dark strands pulling off in the away from us out to sea.
Oh, they're definitely there.
Damn it.
Definitely. He says, well, what about this one?
Okay, well that one is not. That one is. Well, that one can be a little bit obvious. Do not take it always as sexual, but there is a chance. It is.
Oh, I see. And he's quickly gonna put the card away, and he's gonna hand the deck back to you.
It also can mean relationships. perhaps it refers to, since it came to you, it could be relating to the relationship you have within your invisible
Well, it came
college.
to me. I mean, they just fell out. You know, they just
No,
fell.
fate is more than just that. We see chance, and it could be fickle, but it is never trust fate to just anything in specific.
The Fool card makes an appearance.
Oh, my, and of course, Starbuck wanted to get in on it.
Indeed. Oh, oh, I see. And then there's I assume Andreas Knox.
Yeah. I want to make sure I'm going into the right one because I knew they came into this area, but I wasn't sure like which one was the
Yeah,
ladies' cabin and which one is the gentleman's cabin.
it's not hard. You can hear Gianni's voice
Oh
talking
yeah, I'll knock
unmistakably.
politely.
Yeah. So you knock and Johnny, are you gonna open? Josh is sitting down. I assume you're standing. Would you like to open the door? To knock.
Hello. Do you
It's
knock?
it's just me.
Oh, please come on in.
I enter.
Yeah, it's a little room with a couple cots, basin, a little nightstand, and yeah, and Charles and Gianni are in there.
Um, I forgot to give you this earlier, but while myself and Gianni were out buying some stuff, I found this, and I thought you might find it useful to start rebuilding your collection. And I hand him over a leather-bound book with no real markings or anything on it.
Oh, oh, oh! Yes. Oh, I don't have ink. I must go ask the captain for some ink and a quill. Johnny was just telling me about his cards, and I want to write down what he was saying before I forget it. And he bustles off out the door.
Might want to try a pencil, um, just because
It is a boat.
it's. Yeah, his book, his choice.
He's gone. He's out the door. So now you and Gianni are in the room, and all of you can tell at this point that the ship is getting underway. You can start to feel it.
Did you find it strange that no one that the city didn't end up in arms with bells ringing about escaped criminals and
I hadn't really thought of it.
I mean, you know, wanted criminal gets away, guards injured by some means.
You make a very good point. I had not even thought about it.
And it's not as though we knocked out all of them, so there were still several to. I had a little discussion for someone who remembered it better than I do. You've not met him, but
Oh no, his
you
card
know of
came
him.
up in my. I was making several pulls. His card did come up.
Yeah. He mentioned that the captain seemed to know what was going on, but none of the guards did.
Interesting. Still. So, what is your expectation? What do you think is happening?
I think that the Church of the Prophets is keeping this, or potentially even the Inquisition is keeping this very hush hush.
Wonderful.
You
It
do
is
still have, just as a reminder, you still do have the cross with a note. Y'all never did anything with it, just as a note. No, you still have it.
Andreas, what is your plan at this point?
make my way to Labuka. Um I still fully intend to attempt to learn Tabaki.
Is this your great dream in life to master every style or something?
If I can.
Interesting. Why?
Um, eventually one day, I'm going to have to make a deal that is going to free my Davis.
Please let that be sooner rather than later.
And when that happens, it is then my duty to remove the Davis from existence.
And you believe you are capable of this? Or that there is
Not
something out there?
currently. I'm not currently capable of it. I can say that right now.
You are not. Absolutely not.
Why?
And I think when it comes down to it, you won't be able to do it. You won't want to do it.
What was that? I apologize. He was talking.
Oh no, it's just I'm very curious because it's like why?
Why?
Yes, why?
It is kind of this sacred duty of those of my order.
Are you part of some other secret college thing as well, or something?
Those of us that practice the sorcery I do are recruited into this order. Other Usjaya are, they study them. It is our duty to protect the world from them and those that can misuse their power.
Have you ever wondered how long this creature has existed?
If I were to guess, based on some of the things that it's told me, they've told me, um, they've caused some of the worlds and some of the larger wars in history.
Quite proudly, too.
They are very
Some
proud.
of my best work.
I'm just. I'm not trying to say that it's a bad idea or a bad plan. I just feel like it's a task that is best left for for the books. Uh,
What?
to take on a spirit of some sort that cannot be seen, cannot be heard, except by you
Oh,
because you have made a
oh, oh,
deal.
oh! Trust me, yes, they can be hurt. And if I were to die, they would, they could speak to someone else.
But could they cross over into our world?
No,
More's the pity. I still don't see why you insist you have to protect the world from us. I mean, if anything, humans are more damaging than anything we could do.
Look,
uh,
We're just allowing you to indulge in your nature.
remember what I said about them, about others potentially using their power for evil.
absolutely. But that is a
Imagine if a, imagine if the most diabolical evil person you have ever met got a hold of the amount of power that I currently hold back.
Well,
I'm
they'd
not
be a lot
going to
more
say.
fun than you, that's for sure.
I'm not
And
going. To,
probably wouldn't ignore me when I'm talking.
I'm not going to say such people do not already exist. Unfortunately.
Exactly. Just imagining those with great power and being corrupted even more by it.
Fair. Very fair.
Imagine if Whisper had uh, command of my Davis as well as the Gauntlet.
That's not a bad idea.
No.
Well,
Oh, now you talk to me. See, come up with a fun idea and you're all up in it.
so it
What is it?
sounds like to some extent you are much like me, living day to day.
Very much so. I mean, so I decided try to increase that which I could do.
I may have a proposition for you. Not I will say nothing illegal, and I will say nothing necessarily immoral.
There.
But we'll talk about that some other time, perhaps. There's much going on, and the cards are not being very happy with me today.
Yes, I definitely understand that.
I mean, quite frankly, when this one comes up,
Which one was that again?
that is a ten of swords.
Hmm. I'm not familiar.
Um, 10 is a completion, a cycle ending, or a new beginning. The sword is the mind, although it could also represent that which is physical. But it is in the picture of it being laid down, perhaps even given up, perhaps broken. That is what concerns me.
Hmm. Well, we do seem to be starting some kind of a new path. But it is late, and perhaps we could get some sleep. At least that's my plan.
Very good. Be prepared, unfortunately. I think our good friend will be back. He is very much overthinking things.
All right, so let's go ahead and go over to where across the hallway on the ship to where Ace and Nanette are. So not a few minutes after Douglas Cameron left, there is a knock on your door.
Nanette goes to the door, and
It's he is very Highland Marshes looking, dark hair, dark eyes, lots of hair, but pretty young, probably younger than you expected. You know,
are
Like-
you the ship's doctor?
well, I'm the best they have. I'm Angus.
All right, what do you have?
Well, I have some bandages and some pain elixir. He has like a little, like a bag, like a leather kind of
All right,
bag.
let me take that, and she just dumps it all out in her bed and like sifts through it. It's like,
Hey,
Did I hear him?
I have
say
that
pain elixir?
organized.
It's all right. I will put it back where it was. Just give me a second. Oh, good. You do have some of that, and this should work. She's lost a lot of blood, probably internally, so maybe nettle would help. And some white willow bark for the pain.
Well, I have some stuff for bleeding. Would you move over? Give me my stuff.
No fighting over me.
Look, I just want to make sure you're not giving her anything inappropriate. I don't know if you're planning to knock her out so you can get the price off her or whatever.
We were betrayed by someone on this here ship, Angus, and I don't care what country you come from. Let the girl do her work.
Well, fine. If you want to do it yourself, you're more than
Just-
welcome.
Just oversee.
I'm
fun.
more than happy to supervise. I just want to make sure you're not giving her anything inappropriate.
He rolls his eyes and he pulls out a couple of vials of stuff, and like a washcloth and stuff, and he gives you the washcloth to kind of wipe up any, you kind of wipe on, blood on your face or anything like that.
Let me see those vials. I kind of sit up on one arm. Let me see those vials.
Well, this one's for the bleeding, and this one's
Right.
any pain you might be having.
I pop the cork on both of them and I smell them. And then I hand them to Nanette and I'm like, you smell them, I don't know what I'm looking for.
So why did you do that?
I just wanted to, I was just checking. But you know what, you just smell them. Just tell me if they're okay.
I mean, I'm assuming so. I figure they're like dried herbs and stuff.
Yeah, well,
Maybe
it's basically
infusions?
like tincture infusions made out of herbs and things like that. Do you want to make a roll to try and figure out what it
Yes,
is?
certainly.
All right, cool. So we're gonna go ahead and do wits and scholarship, definitely. say you need one raise to kind of, do your little, look at it and try to figure out what it is. The consequence if you don't do it is you will misidentify, obviously.
3 raises and a bonus die left over.
Sweet. I'm going to go ahead and buy that. How many die did you have left over?
Just the 1.
Okay, so take a hero point. I'm going to buy that. And you get 3 raises. So with that, you definitely are doing and be able to identify both of them. So the bleeding is a combination of nettle and St. John's wort to help it makes go down smoother and stuff. And the other is a couple well-known local, Highland Marshes, from the Highland Marshes, herbs for pain relief. So they are definitely what he said they were.
This should all be fine to take. Should hopefully help you with the pain and the... I didn't want to take any more chances.
That's what I said. I said that they were...
Angus! My friend, I guess. I don't know if we've met before. Either way, just let it go, okay?
You asked me here to help, but when
I did.
it does not
I
seem you
did.
want it.
I want your help, but I need you to understand that one of your crew betrayed me and mine. So you're gonna have to just deal with this for a minute. But thank you for your help. It is greatly appreciated.
All right, then. So, Nanette, you have the bottles, so...
I will, and I will administer them to,
Yeah. Nice.
yeah, just, do you want any help? We can get some honey milk or tea to help wash it down. Some of these might be bitter.
Ooh, tea sounds wonderful.
Did you hear that, Angus? Could you help with that? Please and thank you.
Oh, why not?
You
And
know
he,
where
like,
the galley is, old man.
yeah.
He's
So
probably
he
younger
goes,
than me.
he goes out the door. Yeah, he looks to be like in his 20s. And you do
Okay.
remember Douglas said he has like battlefield experience with this sort of thing. So you did also notice if you were looking at him through the whole thing, probably he has quite a few scars on his arms.
Okay.
That you could see as he was kind of near you, offering you a washcloth and stuff.
Okay. Cool.
So he leaves.
Ah,
He will come back in a few minutes if you guys want to talk or do anything in between
did
that
he
time.
leave his bag?
Yeah, he'll leave the bag.
Look through it and see if there's anything useful in there.
I'm already doing so. Maybe just some...
I mean, there's like knives and bandages, and there's, other various other tinctures and things like that in there. Some poultices and things like,
Anything
mastic
that,
supposed to rub on.
something along the lines of laudanum, just in case. Not for us, but we may need something like that.
There's nothing so strong,
Absolutely.
but there is some, something that you can probably estimate would be for sleep.
Just in case.
There's no knockout drugs or anything like that, but there is something that would help somebody sleep, in there.
Well, there's nothing immediately useful, but he keeps his kit well stocked for my ship's doctor.
Okay, well, I mean, that's good enough. I think I know his family. I think they were in the same area as my dad, but I just like giving him shit.
Oh,
It's just,
well, if you say so, I feel awfully bad about being so rude to him, but
oh, you
all
are
things
rude.
considered.
It'll be okay. I've sailed very briefly and drank more with these people, but that doesn't necessarily make us friends. So, as the captain said, she's trying to make it right. But who knows if it was just Remus? And depending on how long he served on the ship, he probably has friends. So it's best for us to keep a lookout for each other.
Better safe than sorry, of course.
Yeah, a few minutes later he'll come back and he has some hot water and tea. I mean, it's to your eyes, Nanette, it's not very good tea. I mean, it's, generic, basic, just whatever, you know.
It'll help mask some of the flavors of the herbs, which can be quite potent and bitter.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I get it over with, and I pinch my nose, and after they prepare it, I pinch my
Yeah,
nose and toss
it
it
is.
back.
It is not a good. Well, that means it's working.
Okay.
That's not what it means at all.
Is it supposed to hurt? Because it hurts. It still
Well, it
hurts.
has to hurt if it's to heal.
No, I'm just
I
not touch that
question
one.
your knowledge of medicine.
But we appreciate the help. Here, I have organized your bag while you are gone. Everything should be in just about the same order.
All right then. So after you take this stuff, he'll just say, "Well, if there been nothing else, I'll leave this here in case you need something to help you sleep later." And he'll put the little bottle of sleeping stuff on the little nightstand there.
Much appreciated, Angus. Much appreciated. Tell your mother hello. And I then just
I
wave him on.
It's like I thought you looked familiar.
Thank you so
Same
much for your help,
always, I
monsieur.
Yeah, no problem. And he'll go to leave. So y'all are by yourselves now.
It doesn't, you'd think that being around marchers would make me feel better, but it really doesn't. Just reminds me of home. I left my chest in that room. I had some important stuff in there. I'm not quite sure how I feel about leaving it. We've already set sail, right? Yeah. It's not like we could have gone back and gotten it anyway, but... Oh well. I guess it'll either turn up or it won't. As long as nobody weird touches my stuff.
I'm
I
afraid
think that
some-
ship sailed too.
Yeah. Sorry, I totally have gone through your stuff already.
Touched it. I totally touched it.
Yeah. I mean that, like, if that guard captain, like, goes rifling through my stuff and starts touching my guns and what have you.
Did
Yeah,
you
guys, I only made it out with one gun.
oof.
Yeah.
Did you leave the box that the bracer came in your chest?
Yeah, I think it's at least back in the room. We didn't take it.
The
I took
things
it
you
out.
managed to get were the stuff Andreas and Gianni managed to
Yeah, so I
have
guess
because
they
it was
took
like
it.
right next to the window. So you have like clothes and some food and whatever other supplies they got, but that's about it.
Yeah, I don't even have, like, except for the clothes I'm wearing. Like, I didn't. They were gonna arrest me, so all my stuff was left there. Unless they, yeah. Ugh. Gross. Don't like weird men touching all my stuff, especially my guns.
We'll get you new guns. Better aiming. I'm not sure what else is going to go into a gun.
I mean,
But
one of them was my father's gun.
oh,
He'd made it specifically, well, not for me. He didn't like that I took up guns. But I'll keep an eye out for it. It's unique.
I'm sure it will turn up one way or another.
All right. So let's go ahead. So are you two just going to kind of then try to like rest or whatever?
Yeah, I'm gonna do whatever I need to do to try to drop some of these wounds.
Okay, cool. So
I'll
you're gonna go to
probably-
sleep. Nanette, are you gonna try to rest or are you gonna try to do something else?
Nanette got her power nap in. So she's probably gonna keep watch. I'm debating doing something dumb, but I'm probably gonna not do that.
Do dumb.
No. Everybody else has done their dumb thing. I'm gonna keep my dumb.
Oh.
Aw. Okay. And so as for Gianni and Andreas, are you all gonna leave the room? Are y'all gonna try to rest? Or what are y'all gonna do?
I'm getting sleep.
Okay.
Gianni is at this point. He's like, I haven't done anything dumb in quite some time. This is the and he'll probably walk out of the room and uh, see what threads just seem to be most present on the ship. I mean, do things look pretty orderly? Does it look like it's absolute chaos? Uh,
The threads have that kind of they're so usually this is kind of attached to like using the cards, right? And you kind of see the threads and everything like that. So you start walking around the ship, and you definitely see kind of these black threads coming from you and other places that are kind of like, and these black threads are, threats. They're some kind of threat to your person or the person who it's attached to, and they definitely go off, in the direction you are actually sailing when you try to like see where they are going. Other than those threads, you see this kind of the ship seems very connected to each other, at least most of the crew. I mean, there's some crew who don't seem as connected to others, but they seem very well organized together. Very, the threads are very straight. They're very non-frayed. They're very, orderly in how they move and how they are connected to each other. And they're very gold in this, and they're kind of a golden color that kind of intimates like a fate or a destiny of some kind involving the ship. It's kind of hard to pinpoint what that type of thing may be, but there's definitely some kind of journey or destination or something that the ship has to go on.
Interesting. Um, I think.
Oh, there's also black threads going behind you as well. I forgot to mention that. So they're also going behind to where you
we
have come
left.
from. As yeah. Mm-hmm.
I think just for fun and because it's utterly stupid, just because he needs to get it out of his system, he's gonna be crawling along the side of the boat as soon as nobody's watching and looking in the windows, probably in the captain's quarters and a few other places.
Alrighty. Okay. So this is definitely risk here. So you're gonna kind of go over the side, and you're gonna be
I'm glad I'm asleep.
portholes. So this would be a finesse, which is dexterity and stuff in athletics. So of course you need one to do this thing. It has a consequence of one falling and two getting caught. So that's going to be at least 3 raises to do this. And just for fun, let's go ahead and make it more difficult and make it 15 for this roll.
Fun. Okay.
Was that a danger point spend right there?
Yep. I only have 4 if anybody in the chat wants to.
Yeah, we're running low here. Come on, people.
After last week when all those danger points were just flying through the air.
All right, so I definitely have 2. I'm gonna re-roll one of my dice to see if I can knock it up to 3. And that's why I need it. There we go. So I am at 3 raises because I've got a 15, a 15, and a 15.
All right. Cool.
Danger point from chat, Danny.
Oh! Ask and you shall
Traitors.
receive.
Are you not entertained?
Are you not entertained? All right, so go ahead. Now, since you've managed to get over the side and you haven't fallen off and you haven't been seen, go ahead and do wits and notice, please. Let's see. And for each success you get, you'll get a piece of information or something interesting.
All right, so wits and notice, which I have absolutely little in. And am I slotted at 15?
For the scene, yes, until we move off to someone else.
Ouch. Well, let's see if I get at least 1 raise. Hey, Wow. I actually got 2 raises.
Okay.
That was a miracle of miracles, because I rolled 2
Great.
10s.
Okay. So, um, the first thing you see, as you're kind of going along the side and you're looking in portholes, is you see Olaf Gunderson, the bosun. You're obviously kind of seeing his room, and he seems to be inscribing something on like little stones.
Okay, I watched for a while.
Okay. I will give you an option. You can get more information about this with your other raise, if you would like, or you can get another something from another completely different window. Your choice.
I can always ask somebody else if they know something more about that. I would love to do another window.
Okay. All right. So this time you're looking in the captain's. You have managed to find the captain. She is sitting on at her desk. She has a very you haven't seen her room before. I think Nanette and perhaps Ace is the only couple people who may have seen inside her room. She has a lot of books. She has a lot of scrolls. And she definitely has some interesting artifacts in her room. You see at least two that interest you. There's she has kind of a set of 5 gold coins set in a bowl on her desk, and they're not like anything you've ever seen. And the other thing is a dagger that you see, and they both seem to have like auras to them via your sorte sense, almost like they have like a hubris or something like that on their own.
What? That would be nice. I'll be good for now. For now.
And those are the two things that you see.
And I will go back below decks. I'll find a way to get back on deck unseen and go back to my room.
Okay. You get back there. Andreas, I assume, is already asleep.
Definitely.
You're having to tune out the Davis, who is complaining about how you were treating him in that conversation.
I am so used to that at this point. Like, it doesn't even phase me.
Just roll over.
it. Wow. Yeah. There's like just no possibility. Like, I'm just like no.
Uh-huh. Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and go to the next morning. We'll start with Ace and Nanette. Ace, you're feeling much better after your sleep. We'll say you only have you've gotten rid of at least 3/4, so you only have like 3 wounds at this point. So you were able to sleep off with the medication and rest and get rid of quite a few of those.
Okay, you said I have like 3?
Yeah, you have 3 left
Okay, cool.
out of the 10. So you still have a little bit. You're not 100%. You're achy. You're, but you're better. Better. You can move around without it being, without cursing the gods.
Okay, I can deal with a little pain.
Yeah.
Whew! Well, didn't die in the night. That's good. I'm just like, so I wake up, just start talking out loud, and I'm like,
Okay.
and then I'm like, oh shit.
No,
Are
it's
you
alright. I
asleep?
was watching you
Okay.
sleep.
Okay.
Just to make sure nothing happened.
Okay.
I slept at
Right.
the end, so I just, I didn't want you to die in your sleep or something.
Well, I appreciate that. I didn't want to die in my sleep either, but
Or if the gauntlet started, doing the thing with the lights and.
yeah, that would have. Oh God, I hope he doesn't do that today. I could really do a day where he doesn't do that. I'm looking at it again. I asked chat what if I put it on my shooting hand or my offhand, and we do not remember. People remember me saying specifically the opposite things. So I probably said both things. So I'm going to go ahead and say that it is on my left hand, which is my dominant hand.
Okay.
So should my arm need to get cut off, I will have to relearn how to shoot.
Okay.
So
Should it come to that? Got it. Left
Yeah.
hand. Okay.
So, regardless of if that makes sense or not, since we don't remember, I'm just going to penalize myself and do it that way. I am going to look at it again and see if I can. So, does it have like a clasp on it?
You know, it opened and it seemed to, like, you kind of remember when you put it on that it had, you know, like opening and stuff, but now you cannot see one. It looked like it was like made around your arm.
Interesting. I mean, this is fascinating and all, but I really don't want to have to donate my own body to the Invisible College, so I would love to find a way to get this off.
Maybe
It's,
there's some sort of thing you can do. You could maybe some of the magic that the Invisible College is familiar with. Usually, it doesn't make sense for it to just stay on you forever like that.
It doesn't. I will say that they're probably our best bet right now, and we're already headed there, so that's good. The problem I have is I've got something. I have a tattoo under here, and I don't know. I don't know if I like it being covered up, and it's really bothering me. Like I feel off. But I mean, I really don't want to have to ask Silent Death how to get it off. I assume he'll just kill me and cut my arm off. But
Well, let's
hopefully
hope
the
it does
college
not come
can-
to that.
Yeah.
Are we?
So-
Are the rest of us anywhere nearby during this conversation? Are y'all on
You're in
deck
your
or?
room. You're in your room.
You're across the hall.
Yeah, you're
Okay.
across the hall. Yeah. Okay, so what are you and what are Nanette and Ace going to do now that they're awake and kind of
Well, I'm feeling a lot better. But I'm starving. I haven't eaten since we took that bath.
Well, let's go get us some breakfast then.
Let's find, yeah, let's break our fast.
See if there's anything we can do around the ship to, I don't know. No, I don't know if I want to be helpful.
You know what? Don't feel obligated. I'll work that out with.
But you
O'Connell.
swabbed the deck so well.
Yeah, you did learn how to swab the deck before you left.
I just don't know if I want to learn from these people. They seem nice, but one of them cannot be trusted, and maybe there's more. Maybe they'll teach me wrong as a joke, and I don't want to be a part of that.
Well, if that happens, I'll just shoot them. I promise. That's just rude. Nobody likes that. Doesn't make for good shit.
Well, let's just go get some breakfast for now, and let's
I s-
doom thinking.
I stand up really fast and kind of sway, but I catch myself and. Okay,
Yeah.
don't let me move fast. You know.
Would you like to lean on me again?
Sure. That sounds good. And I do.
You open the door and there are actually clothes sitting there, outside your door.
Clothes?
Clothes, yeah.
That is
Oh.
nice of them.
Are
Would you
they
like to
saying
change
that I'm-
first?
Yeah, probably.
A little bit of blood here and there. And...
This was my good coat too, and it's like singed. Yeah.
We will get you a new one.
Okay. I don't like shopping, but it sounds fun. Getting a new coat sounds like a good time. So yeah, I will change clothes. I will try to bring myself up to my normal appearance, which is usually fairly put together for a sailor.
Okay. Excellent. All right. So yeah, you guys do that and then heading to find some food. Awesome.
Food.
So Gianni and Andreas, I assume you have both slept in the room.
Yeah.
Okay. You wake up. It's just you two in the room. And the Davis, of course.
Charles is gone.
Did Charles ever
That
come back?
sneaky snake.
Not that you're aware of.
No, he probably drifted off somewhere taking notes.
This on the ship is not a good place to just drift off. Come on. I'm going to go looking for him.
I gave him a blank book. I don't know.
Yeah, it actually doesn't take you long. You start walking around and asking people, I assume, or hey, have you seen,
Did
Uh,
somebody fall overboard?
what? Oh, no. He's in the or last time I saw him, well, I mean that was last night, but he was in the map room.
You have a map room.
A map room.
Well, navigation, we keep
A
a lot
map
of our
room.
navigation. Yeah, a lot of navigation things in there. We go to a lot of different places.
Oh.
As ships do,
I'll get
It's how
out.
we plan our route and how we decide how we're going to get where we're going.
I will wander over there.
Yeah. You open the door, and Charles has the book open that you gave him, and he's...
Yep. Told you. See, he's fine. You know what? He's tired. We should let him sleep.
He may
And I just
continue.
I ease the door closed. Breakfast?
Breakfast sounds wonderful.
Okay. So you all are at breakfast now. You find the galley pretty easy where everybody eats and there's food being, it's not that far into the day. So, food is there to be, eaten and grabbed. It's kind of just a, here's the food on this table here. Everybody grab their plate and get what they want sort of thing. So, I mean, it's not fancy. They got like bread and cheese and, maybe like eggs, soup or
Right
whatever.
now, after being so hungry, it's the golden frickin' corral. I'm just gonna go down the line and grab whatever I can get.
Sweet.
I was gonna say Andreas will also just grab some porridge with like some bacon or whatever the meat is, that probably really fatty slice of meat.
Gotta have the protein.
It could be
so for
bacon.
sure.
Probably it's they're Inish.
Yeah.
They have bacon.
And
They
potatoes.
have a lot of
Thick-
bacon and potatoes
cut.
on this ship.
Yeah. Thick cut.
Oh,
Yes. Do we see the rest of the group here?
Yeah, you see
Yeah,
Ian
we're
and Ace already there, and so all four of you are down in the galley where breakfast is.
where's Charles? Old Chucky. Where's Chaz?
I gave him a blank book, and he fell asleep filling it out.
Cuddling it? Oh, filling
Oh,
it.
like a diary? That's adorable.
Well, that's kind of how I met him, is that he was putting down his notes, so I figured he could start recreating his library.
Out of curiosity,
Sounds boring.
I was very curious. Do you know of for these people, they're mainly Inish, do you know of anybody who writes on stones?
Olaf is Vestin, so
Yeah,
he's
I
not
was
in
gonna
it.
say, can I roll for some type of
Sure, because this
knowledge
is
roll?
your part Vestin, so that
Yeah, my
would totally
father's
make
Vestin.
sense. Wits
I was actually going to
and
ask the same thing.
Wits and scholarship, and I'll give you an extra die for your background too. So
Oh, thank you, because
It's
I
not
am
gonna
no
take-
scholar. I'm a
yeah,
sage.
just because of your background and everything like that. So just go ahead, and it's just going to be one raise to do it. Consequence is just going to be that you have no idea. So 2 raises is all you'll need.
I got 3.
Oh, excellent. Go ahead,
No
take 2.
extra.
Go ahead and take 2 hero points. I'm going to buy those for 2 danger points. You had 2 extra, right?
No, I didn't have any extra. I got 3
Oh, okay. Never
raises.
mind then. I was
Neither.
going to take those. Gosh. Okay. I got excited. I was going to take.
Sorry.
All
He
right.
has plans. That's all I'm hearing.
Yeah.
So yeah, okay. So you remember, so you got 3.
Mhm.
Okay, so the first thing you remember is that is a form of divination. They are rooms They are rune stones, and they are a form of divination done by the Vestin people. The second thing you know is that it is not done by a lot of people anymore. It's very old school sort of stuff that you heard bits and pieces of. And the third thing you know is that they really believe in it. Like, it is serious for them. So it's a very old, not pretty rare divination practice. And those are kind of the things that you remember about it. Certain runes mean certain things when put together and when they're pulled out of usually a bag of some kind or a box, whatever the person usually keeps it in. And that's all you know. That's what you've heard.
Well, I mean, not among the Inish usually, but I do know the people of the north. They the Vesin Manyavar,
Vestin Manyavanyar.
yeah, they do sometimes cast runes and do sometimes etch their own. My father believed in it quite a bit, but he didn't do it himself. He knew someone locally that could do that every now and again.
But
It's kind of like what you do with the cards,
that's what
only
sounds
more
like.
straightforward.
Very interesting. I never heard of such things, but that is good to know. Just yeah.
Why are you asking?
Curiosity mainly. What?
Johnny, I have you and I haven't gotten off on a great foot, but
I would say that's
You-
very true.
you and I, you've already admitted that you have a bit of a how do I say this politely? Wandering eye and sticky fingers, and as such, I just want to make sure that you aren't doing anything that's going to further jeopardize our passage on this ship. At least let us get to Labuka, then you can do whatever the hell you want.
I have taken nothing. And whether or not whatever I have done is immoral is in the eye of the beholder.
If you are going around peeping under door frames, I'm gonna take great issue with you. Do you know what we did with Peepin' Toms on the Utrecht?
I didn't even know you had such a thing.
It's because you don't hear about them afterwards. So just mind where your eyes be going.
Look, we all have trust issues with what's going on here, yes?
I do, but I also don't go around skulking around at people's doors, peeping in on them when they might be getting undressed.
My apologies. But where you prefer to offer offense directly to a person's face, I try to do it in such a way I won't get caught.
Well,
Right.
it might be punishment for you enough if you catch some of them naked. I'm just saying that.
They are very hairy, are they not? Ooh.
I mean, the marchers,
Are you saying they
it's
do not
quite
shave?
scary sometimes.
So, people are eating around you, the various crew. The captain comes downstairs. She's dressed very casual. She's just got, some pants and, nice shirt on. She's, her hair's kind of down and everything. She's obviously has been, not had time and has been very busy. So she walks over to your table and looks at Gianni. Says, "Good morning. I hope everyone rested well."
Slept pretty well.
Slept like a bloody log.
That
Good.
Might
past
have literally
That
been
is a
bloody.
scary thought.
Good to hear. Looks at Gianni. "Mr. Exeter tells me you have a map that will get us to Labuka."
Have you never been there yourself?
"I have never been there, no. Exactly where it is a close secret for those who don't have the papers there."
Well, then I guess, this will be worth something? I'm joking. I'm joking. I pull out the map from my shirt.
I reach out and I stop him from handing over the map. Captain, if you be looking at the map, I think you need to be taking this with you.
Okay. Follow me.
The map was ours.
Is?
Is.
Is now anyway.
We follow.
Well, we need to chart our course, so let's. Yeah, she's like, let's.
I shove food in my face, and like as I'm walking, I'm eating, and
All right.
never hand over a map to her without asking somebody else. That's not you.
So she goes to the map room where Gianni and Andreas just were, and she opens the door and stops.
As we're going up there, I'm going to lean over to Gianni and go, I think Ace just agreed with you that it was going to cost her something. Just take the win. Take the win.
Have I said anything?
She opens the map room door, and she and Charles. Oh! I'm sorry. Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm sorry, Captain. I'll get out of your way. He has like ink, like all over his cheek. He kind of quickly grabs his books and like the ink and stuff, and he starts to leave, and the captain stops him, and she says, Mr. Exeter, you should be here for this.
Yeah, stay, Chaz. It's everything's all right. Anything that's said here can be said in front of you.
Andreas looks at the book, is like, also you drooled on whatever that last page you write on was.
He blushes like really bad.
Can I roll wits notice to see if it's drool or tears?
Oh, sure, yeah. Go ahead and roll.
Why not both?
Why not?
It might be. It might be a fine mixture of the two. Wits notice. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, and a bonus because it's the first time.
Yeah, just go ahead.
But are they happy tears or sad tears?
3.
3. Oh, yeah. I mean, it's a bit of both. From your experience, probably a bit of both. Just from location of where everything is on the page and everything like that before he closes it. So probably a mix of both.
Nice.
That's why I recommended a pencil.
Oh, it's alright. Who hasn't fallen asleep in a book like that?
All right.
A
So,
little 4 o'clock shadow, he looks kind of rugged.
the captain goes ahead and she lays out the map, and in this room it is a map room. There are definitely like astrogation instruments, and there's kind of like a cubby that has a bunch of different rolled up parchments in it, and it has definitely a large table and lots of things to write with, where they come to sort of plot their course before heading out. So she opens it up, and it's just like you saw it before, with kind of the countries here and the island here, and it has some she starts measuring coordinates and things like that while you all watch. I mean, are you going to look for anything in particular? Are you going to watch her? Are you going to say anything that's kind of...
Now the map that we have is got hidden ink on it, right?
Yeah, but you kind of, when you put it through the flame,
it became more permanent.
Yeah, it became so you can see it.
Right. I didn't know if it was still visible.
Yeah, it is still.
Oh, okay,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah, it's sort of, it's just kind of a combo of like lemon juice or some other thing that just when you put it to heat, it shows up. But it won't fade. Once it's activated by heat, it won't fade.
Okay, well, there goes that hidden ace in my pocket. But yes, yeah. We hand it over, and yeah, I would like to kind of scan the maps around and see if there's anything odd, like the fact that she's asking for a map to Labuka. I just want to make sure that she really has never been. and that
Yeah.
this isn't some kind of clever ploy and there aren't interesting notes or anything on the maps.
Sure. Go ahead and what's in notice?
Fantastic. Thank you.
One for the action, of course, and one for, getting any sort of information from it. Every raise, I'll give you a little bit of information, but the consequence is going to be, she'll start to really like not, if you're going to you might get too a little close or a little too, and,
Sure.
she'll get a little, okay, get out of my space, like sort
Of
of thing.
course. Let's see here. So I rolled 3. I rolled 2 10s and a 3. Give me 1 second, and I'm gonna re-roll another die just to see if I can't. And I didn't. So 3 successes.
3. All right. So 2. You did it. She's not really suspicious, I assume. But you can switch that out if you want to kind of exchange her, like, trusting you for 2 pieces of information, if you like. That's an option that you have. 2 pieces of information, but she's going to get a kind of little, and she might not be as open with you or as friendly.
That's fine. That's fine. I can deal with her not being as friendly, I think.
Okay. All right. So what you notice is that the island is probably, by your estimation, maybe a week and a couple days, like 9 days from where you are. A good sail. Okay. And and the second thing you notice is that there does seem to be like some sort of natural barrier around it, according to the map. And there are instructions on it in how to get around that natural. It's rocks and kind of like a big rock shelf of kind of like almost like rock mountains. It looks like from the map. I mean, they're just lines, but from what you're guessing, kind of looks like big rocks drawn around the island, and it gives instructions on where you can go and how to sail through it to get through to the island.
What was I going to say? Oh, yeah. Well, it looks like it's going to be quite a haul, Captain. If you're looking to get there a little faster, I mean, I'm rather looking to get there a little faster. You could get rid of us a little faster if you let me take the wheel for a week.
Says if you think you can be helpful, I'm willing to do that, as long as one of my folks can be with you.
Sure.
All right.
I have a skill for that. I have an advantage.
Sweet. All right. So at this point, she's gonna plot the course, and she's gonna roll up the map. At this point, I kind of want to. You're going to be sailing for a bit. So I kind of want what everybody's going to be doing during this time. How are you going to be spending your time on the ship?
In an effort to integrate myself into the crew a little bit more and maybe get a little bit of a better feel about if this Remus was acting alone or if he has friends with wandering eyes, as it were, keeping an eye on the bracer, I would like to offer my services as a sailor. I have a catch the wind advantage that allows me to spend HP when piloting to arrive more quickly.
Sure.
The ship does take a critical hit, or I can just wait and use it if that's the one drawback. But it can be used to escape pursuers should we get in a chase. So that's the only reason why I want to state it here in case somebody shows up looking for this thing in my arm. But I would also like to do some duties as a scout in Crow's Nest, as I have before.
All right, Andreas, what are you going to spend the week doing?
Andreas is going to practice with his blade, and honestly, offer to teach Nanette better use of that little knife.
Sweet.
Or even try to get Nanette a knife from the ship's stores.
Well, I would prefer an actual sword, but you know,
We can do
the
that
knife
as
was
well.
just all I had.
Right, and Nat, what are you going to be doing?
Probably something similar. She's going to try and ingratiate herself with the crew again. Also, just to suss out if there's any other traitors among them. Um, Taking on the role of the very excitable person who just wants to learn all the sea things, but also will bug Andreas at some point to practice the sword since she has not touched it in over a decade.
Sweet. Johnny, what are you going to be spending this time doing?
Well, from Gianni's perspective, there's a chance that, from his mindset, when we get to Labuka, it might be the end of our little cadre. So he's going to actually start to help out the individuals here. And he's actually going to ask questions. Like, he wants to know why they want to go to Labuka.
Okay. So I guess, awesome. So what I'm gonna do, yeah, go ahead and you can each say how you would answer Gianni if he asks you. When he asks you.
Oh, he's asking us? Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
He said he wants to know why you all want to go to Labuka.
Don't really have much of a choice, do I?
Are we around other people when you ask me?
No, I'll try and do this as aside as possible.
Do you like crawl up to the crow's nest or?
Actually, probably, because I figure that he's also going to get bored and he's going to want to practice his acrobatics.
Okay. Yeah, if I feel it sway a little bit, and I'm like, what the hell? Okay. Yeah, if you ask her that, she kind of, even if we're at the top of the crow's nest, she will look around and lower her voice and say quite plainly, I don't. Let's treat this moment here. No cards, no nothing, nobody else around for you to show off to. I'm going to trust you with this information, and I need to be sure that you aren't going to just go tell everybody. But you seem fairly unforthcoming with most things, so I figure it's safe with you. Is it safe with you?
Yes, certainly. I am a man of. Well, anyway, you've made the point.
I'm looking for my brother, and I have reason to believe that he's there.
Very interesting.
But I don't know if I can find him with this bracer on my arm. So, when we get there, I need this college or somebody to get the damn thing off my bloody arm. Or learn how to use it in a better way.
Sounds more than fair.
Why are you going to Labuka? The real answer this time.
The real answer. I am looking for a man.
What's his name?
One second while I look it up.
Camille Evero. Count Camille Evero.
Count Camille Evro.
Okay, good, not my brother. It would have been nice. 2 birds, 1 stone, all that shit. What did this Avro do to you?
Less about what he has done to me, more what I can gain should I meet him. Do you really wish to know? Because the fact is that I need very difficult for me to say. I need companions.
As fodder or as support?
As close to friendship as a man like myself can find.
Is there some magic shit? You need friends or something?
No. What are you so certain that I can do magic?
You can do something that I can't fathom. It's not all flips and acrobatics with you. I may not be the smartest and I may not have studied anywhere, but I can tell that there's something else going on with you. That you hide behind a lot of backflips and coy remarks.
Fair. This count has a map that I'm interested in. It will lead me to treasure.
Okay, well, if we help you get this map, do you leave us or do you stay?
Depends. As long as either fate or our desires are aligned, I have no problem. So far,
So if
I've
you find
enjoyed our
that,
company quite much.
how do you how do you plan to determine whether fate leaves us together or not? You have a way of telling, do you not?
I suspect that fate will keep us together, mainly because silent death is coming.
I didn't need that reminder.
Well, he is
One,
alive,
yeah,
and he is
but
also aware. Is he not?
No, he is. He's very aware. Thankfully, he hasn't tried to locate us again recently. But one more question:
Yes.
who did you see using rooms?
You really wish to know?
Well, I have an idea. I'd be very surprised if it wasn't Olaf, but I wanted to know.
It was. I was concerned that such a thing was a way to communicate. I did not know if perhaps messages were being sent secretly. But if it is a form of divination, that is not communication.
Maybe in your religion. All right, I have to go look at things. Get down.
Um, Andreas. So Andreas would be next. Johnny goes and asks you why you're going to Lebuka. But I think you
Andreas-
said.
I already got
I
it.
let
That
Andreas
kind of out.
literally go. I told you before. I'm looking for a master of Bogo Tabaki.
Yeah.
So yeah, uh,
And,
it'll
and
be
then
Nanette would be the one that he's gonna be.
Nanette. Yeah.
She said where she didn't have a choice.
Where else does one go when you are running from the church and everything else? I feel like the rest of you have more options. Well, maybe not Mademoiselle Ace, but you have no reason to really go there, do you?
Options currently are endless for you, I would say.
Well, I can't really go anywhere controlled by the church. As we've heard, they've posted my face all over everywhere, and I'm not quite as adept at disguising as any actor I know.
That's why I'm here to help. Fact is, I'm very curious because the thing is, you are not just a walking bag of money.
Well, I'm very good at making more money.
Would you be interested? Are you planning on sticking around, staying with Ace, perhaps?
Well, if she'll keep me around, of course, but I'm a little worried I just would slow her down.
I am hoping that perhaps I need associates, people who I can trust, which is a very unusual thing for me. But
I think that trust has to go both ways, does it not?
True, true. But what can a man like me say that people will ever believe?
Well, you can start with the truth.
The truth is that there is a man at Labuka who has a map, and that map leads to a treasure.
Do you know what the treasure is?
Do I know where or what?
What it is?
Oh yes, I know exactly what it is. I pull the coin out of my pocket.
Mm-hmm.
and I set it in front of you. This is a coin from that treasure. It is one of the lost sunken treasures, a galleon from the Castile.
Does it? I mean, I guess is there any sort of history check or basically a scholarship check to see if I know
Sure.
anything about this?
What's in scholarship? Let's see if you know anything about it. I'll give you a piece of information for every success.
Sorry, Danny. One question: are we going to take a break tonight?
Yeah, we are.
Okay. I just
Yeah,
know if I need
I'm
to
just
run
getting
to
to
the
this
restroom
certain
right now.
point.
Yeah, I'm
3
sorry.
raises.
I'm kind of
Okay,
holding
that's
y'all
good. I
up.
didn't want to interrupt. Didn't want-
3
Yeah.
raises.
Okay. So you know that there was a Spanish galleon. When he kind of says that, and you look at the thing, you know there's a Spanish galleon called the Carnival, and it was said that, and so you know the name of the ship, and that was a Spanish galleon, just like he said. So you know he's telling the truth about that, at least that part of history. The second thing you know is that it was said that it was carrying an immense amount of wealth on its ship that was being transported to no one really knew where. It was kind of secretive, but the reason everyone kind of remembered it was because the survivors, when it sank, were able to talk about why they were out there in the first place, and they mentioned that they were out there transporting this treasure, and there was a huge storm, massive storm that came out of nowhere, just absolutely out of nowhere. And they, there were only a few survivors, and they survived, and the ship went down somewhere, and they couldn't exactly remember where. Maybe one or two of them. So could maybe try to figure out, or someone has figured out maybe where it went down. That's what you know.
Well, I've heard of that ship, but what makes you think you're able to find it?
There is a man at La Boca, a count, and he has the map to the final resting place of that ship. Is let's just say I've been around for a while, and I know that in this world, wealth goes a lot further than most anything else. I need it. You need it, correct?
Well, maybe not as much as you, of course, but a little wealth goes a long way.
That is all there is to it. But I have it from a very reliable source who gave me this coin, which is part of that treasure.
Oh, it does seem authentic. I will give you that. Well, it does sound exciting, nonetheless.
Alrighty then. So after all this, you guys spend a few days doing all this stuff you're describing, and then you're kind of all getting ready to go to bed. It's pretty quiet on the ship, pretty late at night, about 6 days after you've left, and Ace, you start to feel like you did way back in that room, and you start to feel yourself like go back into your
Going
head.
somewhere.
Yeah. So we will leave it there and take a break, and we will come back to that.
All
All
right.
right.
Dun,
10 minutes,
dun,
y'all.
Done.
Ace is going crazy again.
Hey,
See
welcome
y'all
to the party.
soon.
See ya.
All right, welcome
Thanks.
back aboard, everybody. I hope you are refreshed and ready to dive into this last little bit of the game. Exactly, pun intended. So, yeah, when last we left, before we went on break, Ace was pulled once again, or starting to be pulled once again, to face silent death. So, let's set context both outside of what is happening with Ace. So this is kind of late-ish in the evening. So it's not quite, we'll say it's maybe like 8 o'clock in the evening. So it's not late, but it's not, early either. So, it's like after dinner, all of that sort of stuff. So everybody can kind of decide where they're at. You can certainly choose to be near Ace if you want to, or if you feel like your character would be somewhere else.
Fencing lessons, Nanette?
Sure.
Okay, so you guys are doing fencing lessons on the deck. Gianni, what would you be doing?
About what time at night is this?
About 8 o'clock.
If there's crew getting off shift, I'll probably be entertaining them.
Yeah, that's exactly what's happening. And Ace is actually one of those people. She was up in the crow's nest when this was happening. So you were walking along deck, after having coming down, and this thing hits you. So everybody roll wits and notice. Go ahead. You will need one at least to notice Ace
Even me?
falling over. No, not you. You're going to be separate. Just the other three. You'll need at least one. And if you have another one, you can try to stop Ace from falling over.
I'll spend it.
Okay, cool. All right. How are y'all doing over there? Do you at least
3 races.
All right. So you all definitely see Ace is walking along, and then all of a sudden, just starts to fall, and all three of you are like close enough with your fencing lesson and Gianni to be able to, because she's kind of like first before she falls over, and are able to get to her. Yeah,
I was gonna be like, my lady, and then of course, little 5'4" me trying to catch her is not gonna work great.
right. So, as far as Ace goes, you feel that pull that you felt before, and you are once again faced with silent death. It's kind of this, you kind of see a little bit around him, but you can't really tell where he is at all. So you're facing him, and it once again becomes this kind of battle of wills, so that he's trying to find where you are, like how close you are where you're at, and you're trying to do the same thing. Whoever wins, just like last time, is going to be able to kind of have a pinpoint on that person. The other, not so much. It's sort of like you're being able to block and find out where they are if you win.
Okay.
So that's how it's going to work. It is wits and resolve, so it's two of your, just like last time. It is two of your,
And I do get the bonus because it's the first time this scene.
right.
May we spend hero points to help her?
You may spend hero points. You're outside. You're trying to assist
Ooh,
her.
and I got a D10 from chat too. Thank you,
Sweet.
Mom Sai.
So you will get 4 dice, as I will spend one of my hero points. As Ninette's like,
so much.
Mademoiselle,
I'm going to
fight
go
it.
ahead and spend danger points.
Oh,
Let's see.
there it is.
yep. By the
All right,
way,
I'm going
I'm
to
just
spend
saying.
2 danger points to add 4 dice to his pool.
Wow.
All right, sweet. All right, cool. Ready?
I was gonna say,
Okay.
tricky SOB. Doing it
You
when the
didn't
stars
raise
are.
me to 15s, right?
Huh?
You didn't raise me to 15.
No,
You just added
it's
dice to
10s.
his pool.
It's 10s.
Doing it at night or when the stars are out, so he could also get a fix. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
sneaky.
Clever boy.
Oh, I got a second D10. Can I add it to this roll
Yep.
after the fact? Sweet.
Yep. Roll it up.
Uh-oh.
All right.
7.
7.
I had 7 raises. Or he did, rather.
I got 6, but we do have a reroll on the table, so
You
I'm
may
tempted-
re-roll if you would like to choose to do it. I will give you the tie. If you tie, I will give it to you.
Okay, give me a second. I'm gonna go and take one of those rerolls.
I will go
Sorry.
with the player.
That 6, I was like, oh, I could have done it, but no, just a second.
And others can also spend hero points. I will also allow this if anybody else wants
We
to
are
spend
spent
hero
out
points.
on hero points.
Can I spend one of my? Can I spend mine for another die?
You can spend yours if you have one to spend. You can spend it for another die. You may add 1d10 to your roll. And Gianni has 1, so add 4. I mean, you have the 3 from him and 1.
Holding out for you.
That's a whole lot of dice.
It's gotta be strong.
Okay, give me a second to pull it out of the dice tray and make sense of it. 7. Before I dropped it. Okay. It's a lot of dice, y'all.
I was gonna say that's your base pool plus the first time you've done it plus.
Plus,
the
I got
4
3
from-
D10s in chat.
Yeah.
4 from Nanette.
Ooh, I
3
got
from
one.
Gianni, and then 1 from me.
Jiminy Christmas. That's me near 20 dice.
This is a big battle of wills.
It is. And I'm pissed, god damn it. So, just off the bat, I got 4 9s. So
Okay.
that's a good start.
Yeah. So you'll need to add 4 dice onto that to create 10.
Yep. So I'm just trying to do this the smart way and see if I can make 10. An easy way. It's that, and that, that, that. Oh my gosh, that's a lot of dice, y'all. That's a lot of dice, y'all. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 with 1 left over.
Ah. Okay.
Wow.
Excellent. So 7 exactly. Awesome. Okay. So, you know,
There
it's
might have
kind of
been a
like
way to fudge it, but I think there might have been a way to build it different, but that's how I saw off the bat.
Indeed. All right. So it kind of is like he's not saying anything to you, but you see him, and it's kind of just like he's trying to get inside your mind, and he's starting to secede at first, but then you kind of rally back and kind of are able to block him out, and you get an extremely clear image of where he is, and you see sign that definitely has the word Slabuka on it.
Oh,
So you know
wonderful.
at this point, and you can kind of feel just like in the general direction of where he is, based on that connection, that he is in Labuka somewhere. For sure.
I
At least
see.
at this moment that you are right now.
He may not be saying anything to me, but I will say, and I don't know if he can hear me or not. He's like, but I'll say I can see you.
And the connection just like cuts off. And you
As I'm sure I'm hurt again.
it's not so much this time. You'll take 1 wound, but I mean you won. So
Oh, sweet. Okay, good.
yeah, you'll take 1 just for like the effort of having to do that, but you won that battle, so you're definitely not going to get the bigger end of the stick there.
Are you all right?
I saw where he is. But, I mean, it hurts, but not like it did before.
Where is he?
He's in Labuka. We're headed right for him.
That's great.
Actually, it might be. I'd rather meet him on ground than meet him out at sea.
True, and at the same time, technically he does not know what ship we are on, maybe?
I don't think he could see this time like he could before. I think
You're
I
pretty
got the
sure
best of him
because
this
that's
time.
what happened to you. So you're because you couldn't tell where he was last time. You just knew that he knew where you were. So I mean, assumption would be that's how it works. Yeah.
Well, that's good.
Yeah,
I don't know if I like the idea of us walking into what could be a big trap.
We're definitely walking into probably his turf. Labuka is the safe harbor for most pirates, so.
And other unsavories, people who don't want others
know,
to know where they are, that sort of thing.
If Charles is around, I kind of look at him and say, if I say other unsavories, it's interesting to me that your college finds home there.
Yeah, you know, he obviously, you know, came, you know, he was like out writing or whatever, and he says, well, I would assume it's so that they could hide their activities, and moving the artifacts around. I think.
I'm going to trust you, Charles, because you've stuck with us this long. But just know that it doesn't look good.
Quick question. Would I, as the son of a merchanting family, know any of Labuka's history?
Sure, you can roll a wits and scholarship if you like, and I'll give you an extra die for your history.
All right.
You know, I'll give you a piece of information for each raise you get.
Yeah, because as I say, I remember reading it, but whether or not the player knows and the character knows are two separate things. All right. 3 raises with 1 extra die if you'd like to purchase it.
Okay. No, I will not. I don't want to give you guys hero points. So
I'm trying to give you danger points. You said you wanted them.
I did. Okay, so the first thing you know is that Labuka used to be, I mean, this is going way back in history. This is going like way back in history. So you're kind of talking about stories, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And the first you're hearing it, you're like, oh, those must be kind of true now. And what you remember is hearing about that Labuka was a prison island.
Mm-hmm.
It was one where they imprisoned like political prisoners, you know, that sort of thing.
The people up and higher up levels of nobility wished to just cease to exist, but not kill them.
Right. And you know, because of where it is and its natural barriers and things like that, it was a natural place to have that happen. So eventually the you know, prisoners sort of took over the prison, and it started to be just kind of this lawless island. That's the second thing you know. That eventually at one point kind of became this lawless island under its own rule. And at one point, they did kind of allow people to come forth and trade freely and things like that at first, but then it became too much. So they started, you know, being a lot more secretive and a lot more guarded. And so, and over the years, people eventually kind of forgot even like exactly where it was. And anyone who kind of runs into it, perhaps, I mean, you remember stories about people running into like, you know, natural barriers that they would just go by, not knowing that anything was actually in there that you could use, right? I mean, that would be the assumption. So those are the things that you know at this point.
Yeah, because I'd remembered like they used to when they were more reputable and less secretive, they used to actually give out letters of marquee.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not that we ever took advantage of that. No. But yes. I mean, it would make sense that their secretive nature, based on their history of wanting to kind of, at first being a free trade, which we did make some money off of the free trade. I mean, why wouldn't we? People need things. But Yeah, ever since then, it would make perfect sense for when they kind of separated themselves out, the Invisible College deciding to set up shop there. So I don't think the Invisible College is specifically wanting to be there because they are also a less than reputable organization, and more they want the protection of secrecy.
Mm.
Sure. Either way, we're headed there.
Yeah, the captain comes over, having heard the commotion and some of the other crew, and she says, "Is everything okay?"
Can we speak in your cabin, please, Captain?
Uh, sure. And she'll take you over to her cabin. Uh, Gianni, I assume everybody is following. You don't all have
Yeah,
to.
I motion for all of them to come with me if they don't
Yeah.
start following.
Charles will start to follow because he wants to hear this too.
That's fine.
Unless you tell him,
No,
not to.
Charles can come. He's our little pocket NPC. I like Charles.
He's our adorable little pet.
So, yeah, she takes you into her quarters, her room that she uses. Johnny, you see much what you saw before when you had looked into the room, and you do see those two elements that kind of called out to you in the room. They weren't exactly hidden, but they're there. You see them still. And she says, "Yes, we can talk in here."
Before I say anything, just real quick, can I roll a wits notice to see if I notice anything funky
Sure.
in there?
Yeah, anybody else can do so if they would like to as well.
I don't want to do that, but I want to keep kind of an eye on the captain's demeanor as we're about to unload some information on her.
Wait.
I got 4.
Okay, perfect. So you note the same two things that Gianni noticed earlier, which is
Okay.
there's kind of this dagger and these coins that seem to be they kind of have this feel to them that you just kind of feel like there's something about these two items. The third thing you notice is that she has books and papers and things, which isn't unusual, but she has them, and you notice several different languages. That's the second thing you notice. And you had
Okay.
3?
I got
3?
4.
You got 4. Okay. So the third thing you notice is that the captain has some of these they're like what Gianni had described before, has the runes. They're sitting on her desk. There's a few of them there sitting on her desk. That's the third thing you notice. The fourth thing you notice is that, her papers and stuff are organized, and this is more of like a personality sort of thing, that her stuff is organized, like the papers and everything seem to be well in place and organized. The bed and the rest of the stuff and other personal items are not. There's clothes and hairbrush and everything like that. So she seems
Mood.
all right.
Yep, my desk looks usually pretty good, and my workspace is always nicer than my home space.
Yes, that's kind of what's going on here. So, anybody else, or before Ace gets into it, letting her know what's going on?
If nobody makes a move, then yeah, I'm gonna say, Captain. And if there's a chair in front of her desk, I'm
Yeah,
just
there's
gonna
a couple
sit in it
chairs around her.
without
It's a fairly
being
big room.
invited. I'm just gonna
Yeah.
sit, and I'm going to push up my sleeve, even though the bracer isn't necessarily hidden. But I've been
Mhm.
wearing long sleeves, I assume. So I push up my sleeve, and I'm like, okay, I don't know what you know about this. We haven't talked too much about it, except that it's what we believe Silent Death is looking for, right?
Right.
Do you understand the properties of this device?
I know it's a Cyrnith artifact. I remember it from when you were on board before.
Okay. It has a pair. I think we talked about that too when it did the whole dancing bit
Right.
before, right?
Right.
Well, now that I've put it on, every so often, I guess I can do it too, but I don't have the willpower yet. But old Silent Death, he can use his bracer to make a connection with this one and try to find out where I am. Which he did in Puerto del Sur. He did that quite effectively, knocked me out for a little bit. So we knew that he knew that we were there. This time I stopped him from being able to see where we were, but I could see where he was. But every time this happens, I get a little beside myself. So that's all that happened. Everything is fine. But you should know that he's in Labuka, and he knows. Well, I don't know if he knows that we're coming. He probably doesn't, but we are sailing into his area, and it can get pretty ugly. So bear that in mind before you disembark.
I see. Well, I wasn't actually under the presumption that this was going to be easy. I mean, it is Labuka after all. And if the stories I heard are true, it's not exactly the safest place in Thea. But
Not
being
at all.
prepared is a lot better than not being prepared. At least we know. And we do have some weapons, and our sailors are skilled, so.
I mean, he doesn't know when we're coming. We do have time to prepare. If you would rather my crew take one of the smaller boats while the Pots of Gold is farther out in the harbor, we can do that. Do you have business in Labuka? What's her name? Is it Mary?
Kira.
Kira.
O'Connell. Kira O'Connell is her
Do
name.
you have business in Labuka, Kira?
No. Other than bringing you there? No. We agreed to
I
bring
don't-
you there to assist the Invisible College and to assist you.
And I appreciate that. I do. But I don't see any sense in you endangering the rest of the ship. I will let my eyes drift down to the runes. Can I see what's on the runes? Can I see which runes they are?
Sure. Go ahead and roll wits and scholarship. And I'll give you an extra die because you're Vestin.
Not a good roll, but we'll give it a shot. Oh, that works. That's 2 with 1 left over if you'd like to buy it.
Okay. Not at the moment. So you got 2 successes.
I got
So
a 10 and a...
you see
yeah.
2 runes that you recognize. I'll give you that. One is the rune for power, and the other is the rune for danger.
Kira, I see that you've put your bosun to good use in determining where your road lies.
And she kind of looks over where your eyes are, and she says, Olaf believes it wholeheartedly, and I admit that he's not exactly wrong all the time. Or most of the time.
I kind of glance at Gianni, but I don't say anything. If you think that there's something that further ties us together, fine. If our path shares yours for a time. But again, I don't see the sense in taking the pot of gold any closer than you have to.
I can see a little logic in that. 4 people would have an easier time sneaking into Labuka than a ship without notice.
But maybe also Charles.
Oh, yeah, we'll probably take him with us.
Yes, yeah.
Probably
Oh,
should.
Still,
Well-
5 versus 50 or 60. I think we could.
the runes, well, Olaf seems to believe that there is a struggle for power coming that is extremely dangerous. That's what he says, anyway. You'd have to ask him all the details.
And I look at Gianni, and I say, "Have you seen something similar, Seer?" I've got one too.
Mm.
But we do not know between who, right?
I mean, it is vague enough that, of course, there's a war for power coming. It's how we already know that the church has got their hands in something, and we know that the Whisper has its hands in something else. Yeah, we have the. Do you have it on you, Gianni?
What?
The cross you stole.
Oh, yeah, of course.
As a show of trust, Captain O'Connell, I take the cross and I pull out the note.
Okay. She looks
This
at
is
it.
This is why they're upset with Manette. That's all. Has nothing
Never
to do
seen
with
that
her.
thing before until Gianni pulls it out.
Well,
If
I
only he'd
see.
stop pulling it out.
A few possibilities. I wouldn't be surprised if the church was being treacherous in some kind of way, which it seems like they are.
Oh, saints preserve us, never the church.
I know. Shocking, but true. There are several. They could be wanting these Cyrnith artifacts to destroy them, as the church claims in the Inquisition, which is gathering up Cyrnith artifacts to destroy them. They could be gathering them for their own use in some way. They
We don't have.
could.
I was going to say, they say that they're gathering them up and destroying them, but we have no proof of that.
This is true.
It wouldn't be the first time that the church has wanted to take something for itself and leave the rest of us in the lurch.
This is also true.
Especially something they can control.
There's been some speculation that these bracers can control weather and the like.
That could be very useful, if that's
To
true.
a number of people, yeah.
I mean, I know Silent Death has been using the bracer he has to pirate ships to great effect. He took down the Utrecht with it. It seems he got a lot of trouble for his trouble, but
Did he just shot lightning right out at our mast, just burned the bastard down.
really? Well, what about that one that you're wearing?
Well, I'll be honest. Putting it on was not my first idea. I assume this one can do all the same things. I did manage to, which I don't think you heard, but we did floor, about six fellas with some lightning that shot out of it before we ran into you the other night.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I didn't know what else to do with it. I was actually rather afraid that the Invisible College might try to just take it off us and leave us for dead. And I won't say that it was my first thought when I put it on, but I assume that this at least preserves my life for a moment. At least got us this far.
Well, that is quite a lot.
You know, uh, there's a reason I've had some anxiety the last few days. Um,
It
as I
makes a little
said,
more sense now, apart from what I already knew.
I'm not just hysterical, I promise. It's just there's a lot
Well,
going on. I'm just a sailor. You know this. Anytime this is Wheel's business, and he decided to go down with the damn ship and saddle the rest of us with this. Well, that's not entirely true. He did think that we threw it in the water, and we did. It was thrown in the water.
It
Somebody
would
picked it up.
probably it would probably be in Silent Death's hands now if I
It
hadn't
probably
picked it
would
up.
be. I'm not upset that you picked it up. Please do not misunderstand, Mr. Andreas. I'm just saying he thought it had been dealt with before he went down with the ship. I still think he's kind of a shit for doing it to us, but we're here, and he's not.
I mean, I get the noble sentiment, but to throw away one's life when it still has use is just terrible.
well, Captain Wheel has had more than a few run-ins with Silent Death. Doesn't surprise me he would have quite strong feelings about his ship going down by his hand.
Do you know how he came into possession of the bracer?
Silent Death? Mm,
No,
I
Wheel.
know. Oh, Wheel. She actually looks at Charles. She says, "Aren't you a member of the Invisible College?" And Charles is like, well, yeah. I mean, as far as we know, we uncovered the bracer via one of the archaeological digs that was going on in Vodachi. And as the bracer has Vodachi origins, Tempest himself, who originally had the bracers, we don't know where he got them from, was Vodachi. And one of them was they were lost. We're not quite sure how Silent Death got a hold of one, but the other was found in an archaeological dig. And once we realized what it was, we started to make plans to transport it where it could be studied.
Out of character. Silent Death is Vodachi too, right?
Yep.
Would such things be passed down through bloodkin?
I mean, that's possible. There have been many stories of Cerneth artifacts passed down through families.
I don't know what we're gonna do. I'm a little confused as to how Wheel got wrapped up in it all, unless he was just a courier. But
Captain Wheel believed in our cause. We often try to recruit captains who we feel will be uh, understanding of what we're trying to do in studying these artifacts. Captain Wheel believed that we should study them, know what they were, know their dangers. And so he agreed to help us move artifacts when needed.
Yes.
Sorry, out of curiosity, Captain, are you a member of this college?
No, although, like Captain Wheel, we have on rare occasion moved artifacts
Just
for the
wonder,
Invisible College.
it just strikes me as interesting because your cabin, like Silent Deaths, like uh, the previous captain of the Utrecht, you have a great deal of knowledge in this room, and you also have artifacts.
She raises her eyebrows. Excuse me?
The dagger, and your coins over there.
And how exactly are you aware that these or think these are artifacts?
Am I wrong?
I told you I had one too. He sees things. I don't know how he sees them, but he got his little deck there, and pulls cards, so he knows things. Sure,
They
just
are.
like Olaf.
In his defense, it is a big deck.
They are
Sorry, I
artifacts.
couldn't help myself.
They are
would know.
indeed artifacts. Yes,
I
they
wasn't tricking.
have come into my possession over the years.
Why hang on to such things that are so dangerous?
Well, these two in particular, I have found, and the Invisible College has found that they are not so dangerous. And she looks at Charles, and they may not exactly be completely aware that I have them. And she kind of gives Charles a look like, you know. While I agree in preserving them to a certain extent and finding out what they do, I am not of the Invisible College's statement that they should not be used at all, or that they should have control over who uses them. Sometimes the intelligentsia think they know better than everybody else. So while I am not of Silent Death's opinion that these should be used by whoever can get a hold of them and wrestle them from other people, I'm also not averse to using ones that are useful.
I can
I do have
definitely
a-
understand that.
I do have a question, Captain. If you join us to Labuka, the full way, where is your allegiance, or where do your loyalties lie? Will you just turn us over to the college? Or if it turns out the college is doing something that isn't above board, say they want to kill me for this thing.
Well, I am certainly not for that. If the college turns out to be doing something not above board or what they're saying they're going to do, or harming other people, I certainly won't help them. And I would certainly help those that they are trying to hurt.
We could use allies, just in case. I mean, you're not a fair. I don't believe in being fair weather friends. But, and again, I don't wish to put you in any danger that you don't put yourself in on your own, but I don't know, no offense, Charles. I don't know how I feel about turning myself over to them without someone else looking over my shoulder. The four of us can handle a lot, but it would be useful to have others.
Well, we can keep the pot of gold nearby in case there's need of escape until you're certain of what you want to do.
Do you trust all of your crew, or would you prefer a senior staff sort of thing? Olaf. How
Well,
did you get Olaf anyway? I don't remember him. You trust him?
oh yeah. Olaf is quite sturdy and quite useful, as you see. So, yes, I mean, most of the crew by this point know where we are going, but they're not completely aware of why. So it may do just to try not to panic anybody who doesn't need to be panicked.
Sounds good. And just because I've been a little on edge since we got here, are you absolutely sure that Remus didn't whisper in anybody's ears before he got off board?
Well, if you like, you can certainly talk to the rest of the crew and decide for yourself. I'm fairly certain, though.
If I have time, I mean, you have given me a lot to do. I'm not gonna lie. I take a shift and a half most days, but it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. The distraction.
Well, we
helps.
definitely always can use good a pair of eyes.
I do have the best on the ship. I'm pretty sure.
Just don't let the others hear you say that.
Bunch of initiative don't matter. I mean, you didn't hear that.
Are we agreed then? I'll take you to Labuka and stand by.
I look at my crew. Are we agreed?
I think technically a smaller entrance into Labuka would be preferable. It'll be much easier for us to slip in. Hopefully meet with the college before anything, before we get ambushed by
Sure.
Silent Death and his men.
More than agreed. What other choice do we have at this point?
I would say that the ship not coming in at all would probably be slightly more suspicious.
What if we do this, Captain? What if we leave Charles on the boat with you? Me and the other three go on ahead, maybe about by a day. I think we could get there pretty quickly in a smaller boat. And then you come on in and dock at port a day later with Charles, seemingly to deliver the bracer. But the other four of us will have taken a bit to get the lay of the place.
That seems like it could work.
Does that
There's
sound
a
agreeable
chance.
to everyone else?
Do you have a sailed pinnace?
What's that?
Do you have a sailed pinnace as one of your longboats?
I mean, she has, they have, a wide variety of things, so there's certainly going to be something that y'all can use. The pot of gold is not small, but there's definitely a small boat that you all can use to go to the island. For sure. Yeah.
I just didn't want to be rowing again for a day straight.
We'll find something. We'll make do. I'm sure we can find some old sails or something that we can put together. We still have a few days before we need to do this. We're still probably almost a week out. So
It's been 6 days. You're about 2 to 3 days out.
okay, 2 to 3 days out. Let's tomorrow. I will talk with Olaf, since he probably has a better lay of what kind of stock you have, and we'll see what we can find.
Captain nods. And yeah, she'll nod, and unless there's anything else, she will attempt to go about her business and what they need to do. So, all right.
Yeah.
So,
Thank you, Captain.
and yeah, so okay, so let's go ahead and we'll go around and see what everybody's going to be doing at this point. Nanette, what's Nanette going to be doing?
Well, I'm kind of curious if there's anything, basically from her experience and just keeping up with the times and Montaigne's gossips, if there is anything brewing kind of war-wise. I mean, the area is always kind of somebody's fighting somebody, but if there's anything kind of, word on the street, something is a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'll tell you, I'm not going to make you roll that there is a war going on between Montaigne and Castile right now. So that's what's happening. And that's fairly common knowledge. You saw evidence of it when you were in Puerto del Sur, which made it interesting that the church in Montaigne was able to post posters of you. It was kind of interesting because they are at war, so the church must have spent quite a bit of money, bribed certain people to get those posters there, which is more evidence of that they were quite keen to get a hold of you.
All right. But other than that, she'll probably be more focused on the sword practice and other self-defense, since it seems like we're gonna need it.
Mm-hmm. All right. Gianni, what are you going to be up to?
He's actually going to need a short meeting with our crew.
Okay.
So if everybody else wants to do their thing first, it's all good.
Okay, well, we'll do that, and then we'll come back to you. Andreas, what are you going to be? What is Andreas going to be up to?
Andreas is going to be helping set up. He's not entirely sure, like, how he can help in this particular situation. He's not a sailor, but yeah, his big thing is bigger ship travels faster, more sails. Ooh. And he's also thinking, not having our quick escape route, the pot of gold closer, feels bad.
It'll be there. It'll be there in a day.
Mm-hmm.
What can happen in a day?
Your Davis, as you're doing all this, you of course see your Davis around, and at one point your Davis says to you, says, "You know, this silent death person sounds quite powerful. You know, if we run into him again, I am sure that we could come to some kind of arrangement with him."
Well, we or you?
Well, aren't they the same thing? Aren't we together? Aren't we a team?
No, 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 no. You, no. You don't. That just. I don't even want to. Why are you making me think about him having access to you and what you can know? I don't like it. I
Well,
don't
I
like
think
it.
what you were saying to Gianni, and I don't think that is exactly, I mean, a bad idea. I mean, just think of all the things that we could accomplish. It seems to be quite, I mean,
Yeah. I know. I know. I know. I wonder if Danette needs fencing lessons.
all right. And Ace, what is Ace going to be up to? What do you want to do next? Anyone you want to talk to? Anything you want to do?
Yeah, I'm gonna spend some time with Olaf looking for sales.
Okay, yeah, Olaf will
And
help you out. Yeah.
doing my best and kind of explaining what we're looking for. I'll use the old language,
Mm-hmm.
and we'll.
Olaf and Cameron seem to be in on, what's happening.
I figured they were kind of the extent of the seniorest of staff, so but yeah. If Cameron is helping too, I won't
Yeah.
pick on him too much.
Too much. Well, he'll rib you back, I mean,
Yeah. This
he
is how it
says
feels.
he says stuff. Well, at least I'm not putting bleeding magical artifacts on my arm.
Well,
Yeah.
I sometimes you gotta just. I was like, what would an Innisman do? And it just came to me in a second. But as it is, you know, Cameron, if you can find a bottle of good old March whiskey,
And what makes you think you deserve it doing silly things like putting artifacts on and going to Labuka?
it might be my last drink. Don't
Oh.
be too hard on an old
Tugging
man.
on my heartstrings. Tugging on my heartstrings. That's low.
There's got to be a bottle of it around here somewhere. I saw Angus. He won't be drinking this Inish swill, I promise.
I'll see what I can do. And like a little while later, like a bottle kind of shows up in your room.
Good old Douglas.
Like you go to a room a little while later and there's like a bottle there.
Nice.
As you ask him about it, he has no idea where it came from.
Of course not. Of course not. Never. I don't even know what bottle you're talking about. But yeah, I would be looking for sales. Like if we could find one of their small boats of adequate size for the 5 of us, that we could perhaps affix some type of sail to. work out some sort of uh, rigged device just so we could, a temporary mast, as it were, but something that'll hold strong.
Yeah, I mean, you
Uh,
have a couple days, so I mean, given the time, and with the help
and
that
we're
you,
smart sailing folk.
yeah,
We've worked on boats, and we know what boats need and how to use boat stuff.
yeah.
Little pitch
So,
around here, waterproof this. Not any of my people, but some of the crew.
yeah,
Between Olaf and Cameron and I, and somebody else, I'm sure their shipwright could help us.
yeah. So yeah, that's not. I mean, you have the time. You're not under like a ton of, so you're able to cobble something together. Charles, for his part, spent a lot of time writing in the map room and stuff like that. And somehow he's acquired another book, so he has three now. The next time you see him,
Wow, he's.
yeah, it's
I'll
actually
probably
a
be like,
vested book this time. So you figure maybe Olaf gave it to him at some point or
well,
something.
Rescued
see, I
from
think
the
he just
privy.
pulls them out of his ass.
Only a few pages torn out.
Indeed. Okay, Gianni. So you wanted to talk to everybody at some point.
Yeah. So pulls them into the room. Make sure looks up and down the
Come into
hallway.
my
Make sure.
Come into my room. I have whiskey.
You're going to need it, or I'll need it. Looks up and down the hall. Make sure that there's nobody around.
Sure.
All right.
So
There's-
is it just these three that you've kind of wanted to talk to?
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
Charles-
will actually not put Charles in this.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. He's gonna. Charles is off in the map room, still again.
Look, I find myself in a very difficult position. And the issue that I have here is there are you are God damn it. You are correct. You're correct, yes. I have abilities. I do not wish to reveal them normally to anyone. Nope, very few people know. Because it is anathema.
Like with the church and the Inquisition.
Just about everyone. To put it most bluntly, when I was born, my mother thought that she was going to have a girl. My mother was a Striga, a fate witch. When I was born. The reason she thought I was going to be born a woman is because I have the gift of the Striga. I have the ability to see fate. I would not normally tell anyone any of this, but the fact is that I use some of my abilities on the Silent Death. He is Vidachi, he knows exactly what I did. He is going to be where we are.
Do you think he's looking for you as well?
The church will... The government of Vidachi pays the church in order that there are Strega. Strega are allowed to continue to exist because Vidachi pays the church. But there is always an understanding that Strega are only women. I am one of a kind, and I am, maybe there were more at one time, who knows? But the fact is that, so, the church will hunt me, if they are ever made aware of my existence. Vidachi will either hunt me, or they will, seek to control me. And if any other nation can figure out a way to continue my bloodline and create something else, they will do that as well.
quick question on out of character level. So, does my character do I know, but does my character know about the Strega because the
Yeah,
princess?
I mean, you would have heard of them. I mean,
Okay.
what you know is that what he's saying is true. The Fate Witches, are able, and you're not exactly sure how, but they're somehow able to
Mm,
get Fate. But as far as you know, until Gianni was talking, they were all women. Like that. That was just a common thing.
um. Yeah, you are. And I thought I had problems with the church. Wow.
I didn't have a problem with the church until I got on this damn boat, but apparently,
You need to work on that.
apparently it's par for the course.
It doesn't take much, apparently.
Yeah, Nanette steals something.
I just have to ask.
I kid.
What's his
I
name?
kid.
What was his name? Stupid handsome Jacques? That you speak of sometimes, Nanette? Was he associated with the church?
Oh, I
like
do not believe so. If he is of Montaigne, we don't really follow the church.
I don't know.
Okay, I'm
Ma-
just making sure.
Oh, wait. Oh, do you mean my fiance or the handsome man that was after us?
Oh, the your fiance.
Oh, I don't believe so.
Oh,
Okay.
maybe your family reneged on the payment to the church for the wedding.
Oh, that
I
is
think-
unlikely.
I mean, you didn't go through with it, so.
Well, I mean,
I,
we usually pay upfront for all those things. You know, it's the wedding industry. It's quite a big deal in Montaigne.
I, at least, I think they just saw an easy way to pin the missing note on somebody, and her running away probably looked quite suspicious. Did I tell you guys? I almost got stabbed out in front of that church that same day.
No.
Yeah, weird day, right?
There's clearly more going on here than just.
Yeah, especially since you do remember someone saying that the maid also, your Suzette also had indicated that you had been asked to be left alone and everything like that, and all that. So there was
It's
just
you had
all this
you-
circumstantial evidence that pointed.
Yeah, you
to
had no way of knowing that Gianni was going to go in there and take that gilded crucifix.
Okay,
It's all right. It's all right.
Fate
what's
has
done
its
is done.
ways. All I ask is, personally, please do not tell anyone what my abilities are. If you want to say I can play with the deck, that's fine. But please, please.
I mean, I don't even know what your abilities are. I was just more or less saying that you did what Olaf could do.
I
And to
literally,
most people, that's not magic. That's just.
I literally see the strands of fate. I can see the ways in which each one of us are tied together, an infinite web that stretches out from each of us. I can see the lines of fate going off into the distance, black threads that more than likely are silent death, more than likely other enemies.
Can you see anything there? And I point exactly where my Davis is standing.
I have tried to avoid looking.
Do you want to
Is he
try?
ugly?
I'll be
I
honest.
really
no.
do not want to try to look.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
I do want to see this, this friend of yours, mostly for curiosity's sake.
I will say
And I
that
would like to meet her. Your Davis says.
I know you would.
I did do a simple spread while we have been on board this boat as well, and it does not bode well.
In what way?
Well, first and foremost, and I'll actually hold these up and I'll pass them out to different people. This is the present situation we find ourselves in, and it's the card of war. And I'll pass this over to Ace. Your symbol is
I
all over
told
the
you you
front of it.
shouldn't have.
Interestingly enough, that which influences us. Yes. The Dame of Coins. And I pass this over to Nanette.
All right, you can't blame this all on me.
No, but coins is it might not even be you, and the day might be fate itself. We do not know, but it is physical. Coins refer not just to wealth, but that which is material. It could even be these artifacts. Could even be Sinrath was an actual person. Who knows? I have that which is the challenges that face us. I'm not very happy with as well. An inverted two of swords. Lack of usually means duality. Usually has to do with the mind. But duality doesn't mean at crossed purposes. But this would make me think that perhaps we are. There is something out there that is that the challenge that we face is something that is opposed to us.
Just take it, Andreas. We know it's for you.
No.
The outcome is what disturbs me as well. I hold this one up that I had shown Charles earlier, and it is the Ten of Swords. It is the finale. Oftentimes, the tens refer to an ending, but possibly also a new beginning. The swords refers. I have talked to you about swords before, Ace. It refers to the mind.
You did? Oh, yes, right. That's right.
But it could also refer. The fact is that it could also. One must always take into understanding that which is presented pictorially as well, and it shows a great many swords thrust into the ground, left behind, and one shattered. And finally, the theme that we find ourselves in is inverted Two of Cups. Cups is the emotion. Two is duality. Again, usually not. Usually, if it is standard, it doesn't necessarily mean that we are at odds. But this would tell me we are at odds with someone. Perhaps there is a great anger, something horrible happening out there. Could refer to the war itself. Who knows? But this is the spread that I have drawn here.
Well, awesome. So, I will let y'all ponder that, but let's go ahead and talk about. You finally get and you see these massive rocks that are encompassing Labuka eventually within a couple days after you've been working on your ship and getting ready. And if you did not know where to go, Ace, especially from your sailing knowledge, you would be absolutely screwed. You would be absolutely screwed if you did not know how to sail through this. And thankfully, the map that you have did give some instructions on how to do so.
And I'm really good at it.
Yeah. And so when you come through the rocks, you do see this, and it looks beautiful. It's kind of this beautiful tropical looking like island in front of you. Looks very, there's ships there, and you see like these buildings and, from a distance and everything. So go ahead and tell me who, is it just the four of you that are going on the boat?
And Charles?
No, I wanted to leave
Charles is
Charles
staying on the
on
boat.
the pot of gold as kind of a, so the pot of gold could come in and Charles would disembark seemingly to deliver the bracer to the college.
Right. So that's the plan. The pot of gold is going to stay there for a day and then come in with Charles while you guys are going to take the ship right now, the little boat that you've been working on, and go into Babuka. Okay? Is there anything specifically real quick that you want to make sure you do or say or bring with you before you do this?
I have a change of clothes in a sack. I have my gun. I have the bracer, and I have the singed jacket. And my hat.
Nanette would like to hide a mark in their cabin.
Perfect.
Probably like behind the cot or somewhere where we'll get accidentally wept away.
Yeah, awesome. That probably took a lot for her to do, considering how scared she is.
Yeah, it's like, if everything goes tits up, might work,
Yeah.
might kill everyone. But at that point, we'll find out.
Yeah. Awesome. Andreas or Gianni, just real quick, if they do or say anything, or make sure you want to bring anything.
Just my
Grab
witch
my.
charm. Oh, sorry. You go ahead, buddy.
I would say I grab my new bag full of stuff with a change of clothes and other things. Hopefully some walking around money. We want to make sure we bring, we did get a lot of money.
Okay.
And it's not that I don't trust this crew, but if I saw a chest with that much money, I'd be like, you know what, there won't miss a couple dozen.
Let's be honest. It's not that we don't trust the crew, but we really don't trust the crew.
Bingo.
Not all of them.
That little chest has not left Nanette's side.
Indeed. Indeed. Okay. And Gianni, anything in particular?
Just my wits, my charm, and my deck of cards.
All right. Just thinking of Firefly. That's all. Anyway.
A mighty big deck.
And my swinging cod, Like,
really is. Like Jimmy
Okay.
Christmas.
It's a Chonko deck. It
Yeah,
really
like
is.
I wasn't just chuckling about it. It's a big deck.
It's a big deck.
Huge.
So you get in the boat and you manage to head towards Labuka. The more you get, it's kind of a hodgepodge of different buildings and things that you can see and different ships. It's just kind of this eclectic, things that you can see as they start to come into focus when you get, when you're getting closer on your little ship. Gianni, oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, am I, perchance, as we approach, getting some of the same sights and smells and sounds as I heard in my dream way back, like 6 months ago?
Yep.
Okay.
Exactly. Yep. Gianni, as you are sailing, as you're moving towards Labuka, you feel it's almost like there's a thread like pulling on you, like one of the threads attached to you is kind of pulling, and it's a sensation that then it subsides after a minute or so, but it's kind of like it's like if you took a string and started to pull on it. And you pull up to one of the little docks in your little ship, and I assume you all get out. And the
Of
dock.
course. Is there a wharf master?
You definitely see the wharf. Like a building of some sort. That seems to be what passes for it here. People are kind of not paying attention to anybody else. It's like one of those places, We're just kind of minding their own business, and probably don't expect that they keep really big records. But everyone gets off
That makes sense.
the little boat. Yeah. Okay. You
Yeah,
start
disembark.
walking down. I assume the little dock there, and you all see at the end of the dock is Olivier Dubois. He is wearing these really tight kind of leather pants and like this shirt that's kind of like really, really open, and he's sitting there and he's holding a wine glass, and he's just sitting there on the end, and he has a couple people with him, and he's just sitting there, and he just says, "Bonjour, bienvenue à la Boca." And
So, did it look like he was waiting for us?
oh yes, and with that we will end for the evening.
Stupid, sexy Olivier.
Right.
Sexy Dubois. God
All
damn it.
right.
Why? And the tight pants, Wiley.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think like David Bowie in Labyrinth, but
Really?
Holy
I'm
shit.
not
But Chris
saying
Evans'
that.
body. Oh
Yeah.
God.
Chris Evans, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So,
Let me see your body roll.
You're seeing something.
and yeah, so that's where we're going to end it, and we are going to be at the midpoint of all of this next week by my guess, so definitely come back next week for that. And it is always a pleasure to have everybody here. And I wish
Absolutely.
you and everybody else wishes you. Is there what's coming up? Real quick before.
Yeah, sure. Thursday night at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific, we do have Growing Shadows is back. We should have our full crew of late teen ninjas chilling out, doing some diplomacy, traveling through the new empire. And then Saturday, I don't think we have anything going this weekend. I think our next game is Sunday, which will be Illuminated Page, which is our Pulp Cthulhu Horror on the Orient Express that I run, and Ala is one of my players. And we'll actually be down a player this week, I think, but we'll do our best. Missing our locksmith. So, but other than that,
Awesome.
same old. It's a light week, guys.
All right. Well, wait, thank you for sticking with us, everybody who's watching, and I wish you fair
Absolutely.
winds and following seas. Until next time.
Good night.